motel with a view, or just a backyard barbecue. I don't wanna go to town. Paradise isn't found or lost. You pay the price, then check the cost. Breathe the tourist bus exhaust. I don't wanna go to town, just feel the breeze and the sun. I'm with my friends when the work is done. Relax in the shade. We're easy to please, we're hanging around, and we're slowing way down, and we don't wanna go to town. Concrete jungle and plastic trees, I'm going broke on shopping sprees. Everything that you don't need, we don't wanna go to town. Late afternoon, can you stick around? I'll call the boys, we'll drink 'em down, and cook the food, and then we chow. We don't wanna go to town, just feel the breeze and the sun. I'm with my friends when the work is done. Relax in the shade. We're easy to please, we're hanging around, and we're slowing way down, and we don't wanna go to town.
Playing all your go-to jams. Go-to jams. Breeze 93.9 FM. KUAM FM, Hagaya, Guam. You're listening to The Link with Chris and Sabrina on Breeze 93.9.
People say I'm crazy for loving you. Why? What the people don't know is when I look in your eyes, I see that the beauty and the beast go dancing all night under the moon, under the moon, under. So come on, baby dear, I wanna know that you'll be near me forever. I wanna hold you so tight. So come on, baby dear, I wanna know that you'll be near me forever. I wanna hold you so tight while singing la 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 la. Oh yeah, singing la 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 la. Oh yeah, and now we're walking on the beach and I'm holding your hand. I remember that you're the only girl that ever gave me a chance. And now we're looking at the stars while I'm holding you close under the moon, under the moon, under. Come on, baby dear, I wanna know that you'll be near me forever. I wanna hold you so tight. So come on, baby dear, I wanna know that you'll be near me forever. I wanna hold you so tight. Singing la 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 la. Oh yeah, we're singing la 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 la. Oh yeah. So come on, baby dear, I wanna know that you'll be near me forever. I wanna hold you so tight. So come on, baby dear, I wanna know that you'll be near me forever. I wanna hold you so tight while singing la 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 la. Oh yeah, singing la 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 la. Oh yeah, while singing la 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 la. Oh yeah.
Chris and Sabrina with The Link. The Link. Here on Breeze 93.9 FM.
Ya daw kumahulog isang hada Italuani Nay naman nina Ya daw kumunog isang katan Tahitano man matugi silensyo bonito na lugar, Island Guam. Bonito na lugar, Island Guam. Iuri daw niya, todong natasi, Isabona, mandong tulutan bedi. Daichong kusiha man flores todo bonito na lugar Island Guam. Bonito na lugar Island Guam.
Samzu todu iman hoben night samoru fanatu tata fampani dosu da esti sweateta night todu Bunitu na lugar Island gone Bunitu na lugar Island gone Bunitu na lugar Island gone Island gone.
Go sing, Yauli, die sombranzelten maakt. Et zu ita saluda, antes di niga, Ratzalden malak estrezas, durante in todo in memu. A no gi distancia, gumugupu gi palu, zangi man malak guafi. Ikonum nasugi airi prebatu la noci nai banderata gaigi pues atan fanni bandera kau esta pagua pumalapa Gilo tanu man libri Sentami ti man ko badi
Nota kantaima tunonya gitoru ilugar para gloria a big islas en
this? I really think so. Ask them anything and they say, I know that's island style. Oh, that's island style. If it's green or it's yellow, it means go or slow. If it's red, how come 3 more cars still go? That's island style. That's island style. Even if you're hungry and they offer you food, you pretend you're not and you say shoot, shoot, shoot. That's island style. Oh, that's island style. You fill your plate with everything, then go to the bar and ask for diet drink. That's island style. Oh, that's island style. Couldn't pick up with Tony, T, Nancy. Eat too much, guarantee you'll be sinasaki. That's island style. Oh, that's island style. You borrow me once, then you borrow some more, and you still haven't paid me from the time before. That's island style. That's island style. You borrow my truck, took my jack. Now I'm looking for you to borrow it back. That's island style. Oh, that's island style. If you have a big party, your food won't spoil, 'cause everyone's palutans in aluminum foil. That's island style. Oh, that's island style. They put too much honey in my pataga. Now I'm drinking honey nunu for my kinilag. That's island style. Oh, that's island style. That's island style.
All right.
Oh, that's island
Morning, Guam.
Nice change of key.
Oh, where are you at, Jay? Okay, over here.
Nice change of key, Ms. Knowles, or may I call you Beyonce?
Yeah, you know, just
You got that little melismatic solo going.
Is that
on.
what it was called? I thought it was just called vocal drag racing. Good morning, Sabrina.
Good morning.
It's 6:23 on the link, the breeze 93.9. Monday. Good morning. Let's turn this Monday into a fun day.
All right.
And to get through it, and then it'll be just a done day, and then it's on to Tuesday. It's the 16th day of November. Welcome to the link on the breeze, KUAM-FM in Agotnia, Guam. It's all proudly sponsored by Del Renta-Own, Carrier, IT&E, Calvo Enterprises, the Thrive Coalition, Burger King, and Calvo Select Care, federal employees and annuitants. It's the 2020 federal benefits open season. Enroll now until December 14, 2020. Call 477-9808. Don't call now. I'm pretty sure they're not there yet. For more info. It's 624 on the link, the breeze. Good weekend, Bree?
Yeah.
Fast weekend, right?
Yeah, definitely went by real quick.
I have an update.
Oh, good.
Okay, so not like, I mean,
Brace yourselves, guys. Whenever this guy's like, I have an update, you don't know what you're going to get. So this could be anything.
Well, we four, and I didn't put this on social media at all this weekend, but we four in this room are, competitive people, and, we like to work. We like to keep each other operating at optimal level. And this isn't necessarily something you want to brag about, but I now have taken the most COVID tests for the four of us in this room because I got a COVID test over the weekend.
No way. How many times have you been swabbed?
Twice.
Wow.
Because the three of us went together. DJ Joser went independently. We all did
Right.
it as a
Yeah.
group, as a team when Adriana Cotero tested positive.
Right.
But yeah, I got the antigen test over the weekend.
Was that the new one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I swear I got my results in like maybe 20 minutes. Didn't hurt at all. It tickled, if anything. I couldn't even tell she was in the other nostril.
You're getting tougher. You couldn't even tell. That just sounded weird. I didn't even know she was in there.
We are talking about.
Yeah, you're a man of low character, Jay. I didn't even know she was in there moving that thing around.
Oh, and just for your own safety and everything like that, it was negative.
She went all up in there. Yep. Swabbing deep that reached parts of me I didn't even know I had.
Okay, but you know when we had Dr. Ann Pobutsky on last week, right?
Hold on, I'm still going on this thing.
Can you tell I'm trying to change the tempo?
She put that thing so far up in there, boy. I was walking funny for a week. Is that why you keep twitching your nostril? It's a little sore.
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you
Hey,
for
good
bringing us
morning.
back to the nostril
Okay,
and not
let's
any
go.
other,
Let's go back in.
other
Okay.
orifices.
So anyway, you got tested for COVID again.
Yeah, and like Dr. Ann Pobutsky was saying when we had her on like last week, how she said there is a new batch of antigen tests now here on the island. Like I said, did not hurt if you've had the PCR test, which is the one that goes like deeper, and a lot of people like even Bree said she felt like it like pricked her brain. This one only goes about an inch past your nasal cavity and everything. You can't even tell it's there. It tickles more than anything.
Did you have to pay for your COVID?
I did, and that was my choice because admittedly, like at the end of Friday, I think it was just like I was kind of like fatigued, and I was like, I'm just not really feeling like myself in terms of like energy. So I was like,
I couldn't tell.
the runoff. No, thank you. The runoff election is coming up. We need to get energy levels.
Sure had me fooled.
So I mean, I spent the money, and at least for me, I mean, it was a worthwhile investment for peace of mind.
How much did you pay? Just copay?
200.
200.
Hey, well, that could have been a Calbee lunch right there.
Should we talk about those Calbee lunches that
No.
Now we
No,
can't
we
talk
can
about
ta-
that,
no,
but
we
we
can
can talk
change the
about she
subject.
was way up in there.
Yeah.
So we can't talk about the times when I've treated the three of the
Where'd you get swabbed at, Jay?
Huh?
Where'd you get swabbed at?
Right across the street.
Oh, at IHP.
At IHP, yeah.
Okay.
And they're very, very nice, extremely helpful. Had a nice conversation with them. I mean, their spirits are high. They remain focused.
That's good. So they didn't just stick it up in there, stick it in your hole, and then on your merry way. There was conversation
and
after.
Here we go again. Yes.
As long as there's conversation after, Jay.
Yeah, and it wasn't like high school because yes, she actually did call me back.
Oh, nice. Oh, there you go. So good. Jay got tested. That was your highlight of the weekend?
Yeah, pretty much. And that shows you my raging social life. Basically.
No, that's a big deal.
There shouldn't be any. No one should be having a raging social
Yeah,
life.
yeah. Great point. Thank you. Yeah, but to all of your benefit and everything like that, yes, it is negative. But I did it for just to make sure that I could keep all of us safe, and that is the point.
So what were you feeling there? Because you said you were feeling something.
I felt like uncharacteristically tired. Fridays, we kind of slow down like a little bit, but I felt like a little bit of like malaise, as they say. I didn't feel as if I was.
The way you talk, bro, it just never.
The way I talk.
I felt uncharacteristically tired. It's a bit of malaise. I bet that at the clinic they're like, malaise, what's that? What is that? Is that like mayo? It's a sauce. You put a nice malaise over your seared kale. No, that's my boy Jason right there. What? That's right. Good morning.
One of the few times in my life I'm actually at a loss for words.
I like that word though, malaise. It sounds cool. Right?
Yeah.
You want to sprinkle a little malaise on your fried rice? Yeah. It's kind of a spicy, there's a little kick to it.
I've waited 7 freaking months to say this. It kind of became a meme, but remember when we had that one caller on and she goes, I'm very asymptotic.
Yes, I remember
the word was supposed to be I'm asymptomatic, but you guys went,
We went what?
We didn't
you guys
go
went
anything.
nuts
Hey.
about it, like asymptotic and everything like that.
Can I just say, I didn't have the nerve to correct the lady because I didn't even realize what she was trying to say until it was almost over.
Yeah, but did you guys know that asymptotic is actually a word? I mean, that's the wrong word to use in that context, but an asymptote is from mathematics. It means a value that approaches zero.
You Googled it? Did you Google it?
No, I knew that.
He knew it
That's
already.
math.
Oh, you knew.
But it's a value that gets increasingly closer to zero, but never actually hits zero. But yeah, that's not the word that she meant to use, but that is a word. So like when you guys were like asymptotic, I was like, and you guys were like asymptotic, and I was like,
Jay in his head was like, these guys are stupid. That actually is a word.
No.
Hello,
Yes.
it's a number value that creeps up on 0 but never actually gets to 0. Oh, you guys are so full of malaise. It's 6:30.
Yeah, let's see. Maybe I'll put some Malays on the next time we get Calby barbecue.
Hey, good morning to our viewers on KUM News Facebook Live. Theresa Elizabeth Oganapati writes, Hafide Guam Buenas KUM family, holding my island in my everyday prayers from God's country, Surprise, Arizona, with Jenny Pennington. Good morning.
I love the name of that city, Surprise, Arizona.
Jane Pareto Sasai writes, Hafide Guam, I need some warm sunshine in New Hampshire.
Irene St. Nicholas writes, Holiday blessings to everyone watching from Chicago, Illinois. Angel Pete Quintanilla Castro, good morning. Familia KUAM News, Manana Sizus, God bless us all.
Okay,
Roberto.
Melanie. Okay, now that you guys are so sticklers for being correct, do you guys say Untalan or Untalan?
However you want to say it, bro.
Okay, well, Melanie Untalan says, I guess she's following up on what we were talking about the antigen test. Do they do the mouth swab? Dr. Ann was saying that, and that's actually a story that we've got on KUM.com, and she was saying that may be an option now that they've got the antigen test, but at least for now, they're relying with the nasal application.
Right, yeah. It could actually be Untalan.
I thought it was Untalan. You know, like I grew up saying Untalan.
Just don't say Untalan.
Untalan, yeah. Titano.
Roberto Fracassini, buongiorno, Guam. Good morning, Roberto. Bev Test J. Solis, Buenas Familia, KUAMs, Antalto Marianas, Hafide from today's road, Chalampago.
Nice. Jane Sasai says, my grandchild gets swabbed every week as required by school. Wow.
Wow.
Every week as required by school?
Yeah.
What's
I see that on Facebook with some of my
Jane, where are you?
friends who are in the States. They'll be like, oh, I get swabbed every day or part of work or every week is part of work, and they'll like post their results.
Oh, well, I've got a couple of friends who work on, now that the movie industry is starting to like slowly get back into, production. For people that are actually on movie sets, they get swabbed every single day. And the NFL players, when they were like going through preseason and everything like that, they got it twice a day every day.
Wow. Debbie Davis, Mama Bear. Good morning, Sabrina, Chris, Jason, Team KUAM, and all on Guam. Hope you had a good weekend. Continued prayers and love from Mama Bear. Stay safe and well.
And you know what? Continue prayers for Kentucky because that state is being hit hard, you guys.
The whole states is being hit hard.
Yeah. I mean, like we had Dr. Peter Lombard that was showing, like there's North Dakota, there's, several of the Midwestern states, but man, Kentucky is getting some like really scary numbers. So prayers to Debbie.
I was reading a story over the weekend about I want to say it was Oregon and another state that are they're instituting lockdown measures.
Wow.
There's one other, man, I forget what state it was because there's this crazy surge.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're anticipating another big surge after Thanksgiving and then another after Christmas. It's kind of scary because we've lagged behind these big worldwide surges, and I don't know if that's just the ripple effect or whatever, but, we're in this crazy surge now, and if they're in another one in the States where they're seeing spikes in cases, not just positive cases, but deaths too, the numbers are crazy in the States. It just makes you wonder, are we going to see the same thing here if we don't, do what we have to do? Because whatever we're doing right now, it's not really working. Crazy numbers over the weekend. We got Public Health Janela Carrera coming on around 8:30 to kind of go into some of these numbers. As yesterday we saw 156 positives out of 619 cases. That left our CAR score through the roof.
Highest ever, right?
Yeah, 41.5. Highest ever since we started keeping track.
Yeah. I mean, the U.S. Surgeon General do recall like the words that he passed, and like some people have said, they take it with a grain of salt. Other people, take it as if it were gospel. But he said we do have here on Guam, because of the fact that geographically we are an island and we're separated from like everybody else, and because of our small population, we have the ability to rapidly contain this thing and hopefully, smooth the curve as they say and everything like that. But
yeah.
But again, that was it was motivation.
But I think if in order for us to rapidly flatten this curve, there has to be some kind of more stringent measure restrictions put in place. I just feel that way. I mean, I'm not saying let's do it, but let's just be realistic with each other, people. This here, whatever, this Peace Corps fund, it's just not working.
You know what I noticed? I was sharing this with Bree over the weekend. Yesterday, being the 15th, was exactly 8 months since Sabrina and I did a Facebook live stream at Civil Defense.
I
And,
remember that.
and
Yeah.
we've talked about this before on the show. 8 months to the day when we actually did that live stream, and the first, not one, not two, but 3 cases were reported by the governor.
Let me
on that
ask
very
you guys,
first-
when you
sorry,
guys,
one more thing.
Yeah.
We are now in week 15 of the second lockdown, the second implementation of PCOR 1. There have been 32 total weeks of the pandemic now. 15 of those have been in this phase. Almost
this one.
half
right.
have been in this current phase. That is nuts.
Let me ask you guys, when you did that Facebook Live press conference from the Office of Civil Defense and Homeland Security, did you have any idea in your mind, Sabrina, being the the news veteran that you are, having reported on a lot of things, did you guys even think that this is where we would be based on that Facebook Live that you did how many months ago?
8
8 months ago?
March 15th.
Or did you just think like, oh, wow, we have COVID. This is crazy.
No, I thought, oh my God. I was scared. I was,
Yeah.
We didn't even really talk about it much on the ride back because we were driving together, but on the ride back from Agana Heights to here in Harmon, I mean, we talked about, okay, well, this is what we're probably going to have to do as a team, as a company, but we didn't say, what's possibly coming. I just thought, I was like, okay, when the governor said those words, I mean, the room was unbelievably silent.
Yeah.
Right.
And I just thought, okay, it's here. This is real. This is upon us now. Like we got stuff to do.
Yeah. We treated it, I think, at the beginning, like, okay, this is kind of like storm coverage.
Yeah.
Right. We're in an emergency response. We have to get all the information out to the community. And usually, you follow the lead from Homeland Security and Civil Defense, and like they usually do, they send out a flurry of joint information releases. And since then, it just never stopped.
Yeah.
And so
It really never stopped. And I remember, I don't know if it was the Tuesday after that, you came to me and said, hey,
it was at Monday, because
Monday.
Sunday was the press conference,
Right,
and then that whole day, that whole night, I was trying to think of, okay, how are we going to get information out? Because
good. This is all Sabrina's idea. Sabrina's the leader on this team, and that was a great idea, Bree, because she basically, what drove her decision was how can we get the information out to the people in the most consistent way, in a way where, we have a format where we can get people on to give out the information that everyone needs to know. And she anticipated that it was going to be the government of Guam obviously leading this response and putting out information that had to be released in a timely manner, whether it was, information about the lockdowns or information about aid and assistance or information about the spread of the virus. And so, that Monday, she was like, what would you think if we did a radio show? And I had no idea it was going to be like this. I thought it was going to be like, hey, good morning, everyone. All right. Hey, all right. COVID news. We're going to play a song. I had no idea. Of course, I said, yeah. I was like, wow, this is really cool. And I thought at the time, like, that's kind of a silver lining. I had no idea what to expect with the COVID. I just thought that it was going to be, because I can't, we saw it in the news. And I think at that time it was like Italy,
Italy,
right,
New York, Seattle.
Right. It was crazy there. And so,
Wuhan.
when stuff's happening in the States, a lot of times you're like, oh, that's in the States. So that's what I kind of thought. And I thought, oh, this is going to be over.
Yep. And we thought it was only going to be temporary.
Yeah.
Well, you know what was one thing I was thinking as we
Weeks
kind of
turned into months.
when Bree did actually conceive of what became the show and everything, I was thinking as we were like trying to get ready, and we said, okay, as a company, we're gonna have to make certain steps to make sure everybody's healthy and safe first and foremost. I was like, okay, everybody needs to bring not just their A game, but their A++ game, and we don't know, we can't say everybody give 150% for the next week, for the next for 2 days or anything like that. We just don't know. So.
It was tough too, because like you said, the idea was in the beginning, let's treat it like storm coverage. But the thing about storm coverage is it lasts maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, right? You have the event, then you have the aftermath. In this one, it's just been 8 months of the event. And we haven't gotten, we were at a point where we thought we were in the aftermath when, back in summer,
Recovery,
right? When there's actually a point where the policy director of Guadalupe, and no fault to him, I mean, this is what everyone thought at that time, where they had actually put out a statement and said, oh, we're not in the response phase of COVID, we're in the recovery phase. Well, that has changed definitely. So
And let me just say, like, with all respect to all of our friends here at KUM and all our friends like in media and everything like that, we've got the easy part, if you want to think about it that way. The frontliners, man, the medical staff, the gas station attendants. We've been over this so much, and we'll continue to do so. Yeah, pharmacists. Thank you, DJ Joe, sir. People that are dealing with
law enforcement,
yes. I mean, they've been going through
the
this
fire department,
every single day. I mean, pulling insane hours, and they do it because they love Guam, and they want to make sure everybody's okay.
and they're getting their double pay. Oh no,
No,
yeah,
they are.
kidding. Yeah, no, that's a joke. Yeah, yeah, but it has been tough.
Whatever happened to that? That's another issue.
I think they're
That
waiting.
that was sarcasm, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, kind of like the like she's way up in there thing.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was tough. I mean, there were some, like I was saying, when you treat it like storm coverage, I think I had it in my mind for the first couple months. I was like, okay, we'll just get through this. It's going to be, because I know it doesn't seem like it because I'm very cynical and critical, but I'm actually an optimist under all of this.
Remember, we thought containing COVID was like, okay, let's do a radio show for 2 weeks max, and then we'll go back to doing,
But remember when it was
96.
containing COVID and it reached a point where our people just needed to eat, right?
Yep.
And people were lining up for these meals. This is before the PUA came out and everything. And it was like, man, it hit me hard to go out there and to see and to hear people calling in here talking about how they needed those meals from GDOE. And at the time, it was like Superintendent John Fernandez and his department were really the example of how to go out there and provide meals in a way where they fed, thousands upon thousands of people, and people came to rely and depend on that.
And
before,
John
before
even
the
told us.
assistance all came down.
Yeah, when they put together that plan and they said, okay, it's going to be us that distributes these things, guys. The virus is here. It's probably going to be spread. I don't want to put you guys in harm's way, but he said it was a lot of 1-to-1 school age, and it was the parables. They were the first ones up, and they were like, tell me where I've got to be, boss. I want to help our people.
Right.
Okay.
And I remember that very first time they opened up the food distribution in Petey. The traffic
Right.
was
Oh, yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, no one anticipated it, and it was kind of like, and I think it's
All the way
because
to Guadalupe, I think
we're
the line
locked
was.
down. People didn't really know, but that was the first time where to me anyway, where I was like, wow, people are. I mean, you kind of had an idea just from hearing and talking to people, but when that aid opened up and the line stretched all the way to like Agana, it was like, whoa, people are really hurting, and I was
No,
like, we got to get on this.
Bree and I live in Jigo, different parts of Jigo, but like when we would come in to do this show, like 4:30 in the morning, maybe even earlier, and you'd see how many people. I mean,
lines.
for me, it was
Oh,
like
my
the lines were to line up at the Dedido Farmers Market, right? To give you guys like a little bit of context, the Dedido Farmers Market is about maybe a mile in either direction between the Micronesia Mall and Dedido Payless, right? And the line for that distribution center at 4:30 in the morning was all the way back to Woostig Road.
Also, let's not forget Theodore Roosevelt.
Oh yeah,
Wow, that
yeah.
whole response, all of that. Was
I mean, toilet paper
So
shortages,
emotional.
hand
Fam-
sanitizer not being
families that had sailors on board that ship.
Right.
They couldn't even see them.
Our friend Christina, right? Her son came in.
Christina
And,
Schwend.
yeah, and it was crazy because before that, I want to say in February, I'd actually covered the port visit of the Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
and so I was down there, and it was crazy because I met a lot of these families from Guam who had, kids or whatever, nieces or nephews on the Roosevelt. And so it went from seeing that in February and witnessing this homecoming where everyone was like hugging and all that, you know what I mean? We're so happy to have you home. And then the next month, or the next couple of months, they were back, but totally different situation.
You know what I remember a lot is a lot of our people and locals not wanting to go out and get tested when GovGuam and Public Health at the time, under the direction of Linda and Pinko Denorsi, when they had that very first community testing site. It was a pilot project. It was over at Estumbo. And a lot of people didn't show up because they were so afraid that they would pop positive, and they thought they were immediately going to be yanked and be thrown into quarantine jail or something like that. So I mean, there was natural fear, and it was only when those 31 airmen, maybe about a month and a half later, when it found out that they went around, all of a sudden they had a testing thing up at Jigo. All of a sudden, 1,600 people got tested on that day. So
And then remember, it
That's
was
what it
like
took.
they bit off more than they could chew because we had all these people coming out to get tested, and they couldn't process those samples quick enough, and it ended up turning into this thing where people were waiting, weeks to find out if they're positive, and out there spreading the virus if they were. Gotta wonder if that was part of this surge, this latest surge. Those people going to get tested, not knowing if they're positive, negative, going about their lives. Anyway, it's too late for that to go back and talk about it. But wow, where's the time go, guys? 6:45. We could just do a whole week of shows, sitting here reminiscing. But the sad part is it's not over. We're still in this. You know what I mean? And that's what's like I was saying. When you treat it like storm coverage, usually the event is over, but it's still not over, and here we are stretching into the holidays.
But you know what we do when we have storms here on the island? Everybody pulls together. Neighbors help neighbors. Everyone stays in because it's not safe. And that's what we really got to get back to. We got to remember who we are and what we just instinctively know what to do.
Yeah. But the biggest difference is back then we had a government of Guam that was, more proactive. And combating the virus. It was like, hey, you guys are locked down. I'm going to do roadblocks, checkpoints. I'm going to do whatever I can to keep people home, to keep this virus from spreading. And I just think it's really interesting that we had that response back then. And now that we have rampant community transmission, it's everywhere. People are going from the house to the work but we don't have that same response. It just doesn't add up for me. 6:46, Monday, November 16th. Let's go ahead and get into news. Again, the show is proudly sponsored by Dial Rent to Own, the Thrive Coalition, Burger King, Calvo Enterprises, Carrier, and Calvo Select Care. At 6:46 again with the very latest from the KUAM News team. Good morning, Sabrina Salas Mantanani.
Holiday. The island recorded 2 more COVID-related fatalities since Friday night, according to the Joint Information Center. On Friday, a 59-year-old man with underlying conditions that were further compounded by COVID passed away. He was pronounced dead on arrival at GRMC. On Sunday, a 73-year-old woman became the island's 94th COVID-19 related fatality. She had underlying health conditions and passed away at GMH. She was a known COVID positive patient transferred to the hospital from GRMC on November 7th. As for the latest JIC report issued Sunday, there were 156 new COVID-19 cases out of 619 samples taken from Saturday. These are only the numbers that were ran by Public Health. This brings the island's number of officially reported cases to 6,121, with 2,085 active cases and more than 3,900 recoveries. Guam's current COVID area risk score, or CAR score, is 41.5. Guam's ideal score is 5. The CAR score counts for incidence of new cases, how well current testing identifies these cases, and the rate of spread. There are 75 people currently hospitalized with the virus, 66 at GMH with 15 in ICU, 10 on a ventilator. At GRMC, there are 3 COVID admissions, all 3 in ICU. And at Naval Hospital, there are 6 COVID patients, 3 in ICU and 2 on a ventilator. Cortec International announced that as of a result of mass testing conducted Saturday among its workforce, 140 returned positive out of the 420 employees that were tested. The company has isolated the positive employees in compliance with CDC and public health mandates. Mass testing of the rest of the workforce will continue over the next few days in coordination with public health. While Saturday was the day Public Health's directive to cease all construction projects was implemented, that same day the agency issued a new directive that local construction companies and contractors can resume operations subject to meeting minimum requirements in the Department of Public Health's contractor clearance checklist. The construction companies and contractors requesting for clearance must fill out the Public Health Contractor Clearance Checklist. The Archdiocese of Agana announces that one parishioner of Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Church in Jigo has tested positive for COVID. The Archdiocese was notified Sunday and has contacted Public Health. According to a media release, though the individual may have contracted the virus elsewhere, not necessarily at church, the parish has initiated Archdiocese protocols and is taking precautionary measures because the parishioner attended 1 p.m. Mass at Jigo last Sunday on November 8th. It is known that the person was a good distance from most of the general congregation. The church is able to remain open because it already underwent deep cleaning and thorough sanitization last Wednesday. The Archdiocese contact tracing team has begun its work. Meanwhile, the Archdiocese says that all 6 priests who had direct or indirect contact with the clergymen who had COVID-19 underwent testing Saturday and have tested negative for the virus. However, as the pastors continue to self-quarantine, the faithful are advised that there may still be adjusted schedules to masses. For example, St. Anthony Catholic Church Chapel and Parish Office will be closed until November 23rd. All indoor scheduled masses and office operations have been suspended, but their masses will be live streamed. With more news, here is Tyler Matsinani.
Hafa-day, good morning, everyone. I'm Tyler Matsinani with your headlines here on The Link. Following a recent outbreak, Corrections Director Joe Carbolito says COVID-19 testing has been completed, and the results are back for both the Manila and Hagåtña prison facilities. In total, 93 inmates and detainees tested positive, along with 14 DOC personnel. Carbolito confirms testing was conducted on the entire DOC population. He says the department is working with public health on contact tracing and further recommendations to move forward. Late Thursday night, test results from the Hagåtña facility found 2 detainees and 2 officers contracted the virus. One detainee, with the approval from the Attorney General's office, has been transferred to the Gov Guam isolation facility. The second detainee was transferred to DOC's isolation facility at the Manila compound. Meanwhile, the 2 officers are on home isolation. Recovery of the tourism industry continues to be a long, slow process, largely contingent upon containing the spread of COVID-19. But the Guam Visitors Bureau is still pressing forward with proposals to do just that. Here's more.
When the tourism industry does return, GVB Vice President Jerry Perez says health and safety from the virus will be the dominant factor in travelers' decisions. He provided an update for the board on a mass screening initiative proposed by GVB, the GHRA, a business coalition, and UOG, which was presented to the governor. She agrees in principle, he says, but the $10 million price tag was a non-starter because of a lack of funding.
She didn't say no, as Chairman Ada alluded to, but she just wanted to have the group regroup, recalibrate, and coordinate more with public health. Knowing the urgency that we are facing, we are, with Gita, exploring other possible options that President Carl had alluded to earlier, but there's still a lot of details being developed in terms of understanding what this other option might be, and too premature to really share right now.
In his report, Perez also said that Guam is not likely to see much in the way of arrivals from its top market, Japan, until after the Tokyo Olympics next summer. He also shared that even places that have reopened, like Hawaii did last month, aren't seeing huge arrival numbers.
The recovery trajectory obviously will depend on COVID-19 situation, but it's not likely to really recover until like the year 2023 is what they're estimating.
There are some positive developments, though. As board member Theresa I notes, the just-released movie shot on Guam, Operation Christmas Drop, is trending near the top of Netflix new releases, which is the kind of exposure money can't buy.
In district court, the Attorney General filed its response on behalf of Governor Lou Leon Guerrero and Public Health Director Art San Agustin in a lawsuit that's challenging the COVID shutdown. Guam business owner Tom Pinehoff sued Gov Guam for effectively shutting down his bar businesses for the last 6+ months. He argues that the order is a violation of his rights and that there's no basis for allowing essential businesses to open while restricting others. Friday, the AG filed a reply stating Pinehoff has not responded to their argument and that Pinehoff failed to present a clear legal theory to support both an equal protection claim and procedural due process claim. The defendants are asking the court to dismiss this case. That's the news for now. We'll see you all at 6 tonight on Primetime.
Thanks, Tyler. The Department of Corrections has established an information center for families concerned about COVID-19 behind bars. The information number is 734-4016. That's 734-4016, and will be available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Callers are reminded that DOC cannot disclose confidential information such as COVID-19 test results. Prisoners, however, can contact their families via the pay telephone system or provide updates. With 67 days left in office, President Trump greeted supporters from his motorcade. They gathered to rally in the nation's capital while the president, who has made unproven claims of voter fraud, still has not conceded the election. Meanwhile, President-elect Joe Biden is working on a transition to the Oval Office in January. Michael George reports.
President Trump delighted, cheering supporters with a drive-by at a so-called Million MAGA March in Washington, D.C.
The message of this event is to demand transparency and to protect election integrity.
As night fell, groups of pro-Trump demonstrators and counter-demonstrators remained on the streets, with the police trying to keep a tense peace. Later in the evening, the crowd thinned as protesters dispersed. President Trump continued to tweet unproven claims of widespread voter fraud, as he still refuses to admit election defeat. The government is restricting access and funding to President-elect Joe Biden's transition team. In a statement Friday, former Trump White House Chief of Staff John Kelly said, in part, "The delay in transitioning is an increasing national security and health crisis. The current administration does not have to concede, but it should do the right thing, just in case the constitutional system declares they lost." In a Rose Garden speech Friday, President Trump seemed to allude to change ahead as he discussed the coronavirus, which is spiking across the U.S.
This administration will not be going to a lockdown. Hopefully the whatever happens in the future, who knows which administration it will be. I guess time will tell.
In a tweet, President-elect Biden called the federal response to the pandemic woefully lacking and urged President Trump to do more to battle the virus now. On Saturday, Biden took a break for a bike ride with the next First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, near their Delaware beach house. Michael George, CBS News.
President Donald Trump, in the meantime, intends to nominate Superior Court Judge Maria Senzon to the District Court of Guam. Senzon currently provides over civil, criminal, domestic, and probate dockets. Prior to her appointment to the bench in 2012, she served as chief legal counsel to the governor and director of policy planning and community relations for the Unified Judiciary of Guam. Before going into government service, she was in private practice and counseled large local and international corporations, as well as some of the government of Guam's largest agencies. Judge Senzon received her Bachelor of Arts from Marquette University and a Juris Doctorate from the Loyola University Chicago School of Law. Governor Lilian Guerrero reacts to her nomination, stating, "We have nothing but respect for any person nominated to serve in such an important capacity. Unfortunately, given the waning hours of the current administration, we were not part of the normal consultation process associated with other judicial nominees in the past, and that's important for the people of Guam. With the upcoming holiday recess, a Senate majority up for grabs, and a coming presidential transition, we hope that all critical decisions involving Guam are addressed deliberately and without the rush associated with an outgoing administration." Democratic Party Chairperson Sarah Thomas Nedadog, meanwhile, congratulated Judge Senzon. Quote, "She's a daughter of Guam and at this point is the one nominated by the president, which will go through the confirmation process and the U.S. Senate confirmation. We wish her well." And the Republican Party of Guam also congratulating Judge Senzon, stating they are elated about the nomination. Quote, "Judge Senzon, who was originally nominated by former Governor Eddie Calvo to serve on the Superior Court of Guam bench in 2012, is a woman of integrity who will bring her profound professionalism to the federal district court, as well as her legal experience in both the public and private sectors. She not only served as chief legal counsel to Governor Calvo prior to the appointment, but has also practiced law for 17 years, primarily in private practice." The Republican Party of Guam congratulates Judge Senzon and her family and urges the U.S. Senate to expeditiously confirm her nomination so that another daughter of Guam can proudly serve the island community and the nation on the bench of the United States District Court of Guam. And now we head into the Zoom room for your work week weather forecast with the National Weather Service's Landon Eiled. Good morning, Landon.
Hey, good morning. How are y'all doing today?
We're all right.
Pretty good.
It's another great week out there. It's not bad. Looking out the window this morning, and also looking out for the rest of the week. Not a bad day. So You can see I'm starting to transition my office from Halloween to Christmas. I do have my studio audience still over there. He's still lingering from Halloween. I'll transition him to Santa Claus soon. I'm going to start this little weather discussion on something a little bit different. This is one of our polar orbiting satellites. This shows the wind speeds over the water surface across the ocean. Because we're all ocean and very little landmass, we have very little observational weather data across the region. So we use this data closely to verify our forecast and also see what's going ahead. So Guam is right there in a little gap between the data. These are the wind barbs showing wind speeds and wind directions. Right now it's about 10 to 15 knots over the water, but looking to our north, we see these yellows, oranges, and reds. Those are much stronger winds associated with a cold front. That's sitting just north of 20 degrees north latitude, and the strong winds are pushing to the north. So that's going to have some impact on our conditions later in this week. Will it drop down south towards Guam and Saipan? Not likely. It looks like it's going to be stalling out right along 20 north and then get pulled off to the North Pacific and then on away from us. Looking at the radar, there is nothing out there, just some spotty light showers. And that's going to be the trend, at least for the next 48 hours. So not a bad day as you commute to work or commute to telework from the bedroom to the living room. Not bad at all. So this is what we're looking at right now. I'm going to flip this over to the satellite and get a bigger picture. We see all these little spotty clouds. That's just low-level cumulus, a few minutes of light to moderate showers, and then it's going to push off to the southwest. And that's the theme for the next at least 48 hours. Down to the south, we do have a lot more showers and thunderstorms. There is an upper-level trough stretching just south of us across Yap State and across the Republic of Palau. That's generating those showers and thunderstorms. Nothing organized, just a busy, wetter trade wind pattern influenced by that upper-level disturbance. That's going to keep to our south. And then once we zoom up to the north, that's our cold front. So where we saw the stronger winds up there, that's going to stay up to the north. If you're going to be flying to Japan, you might get a little bit of turbulence across this boundary as you fly over that. The showers and thunderstorms and the stronger winds at the surface. Again, that's not likely to reach us. It's going to stay along 20 north and then eventually pull off to the northeast and get swept away with a ridge of higher pressure.
So it's not going to snow, right, Landon? Just because everyone heard cold front and they, you said Christmas and
unfortunately not for us, no snow. Because
it's 2020, I wouldn't even be surprised.
Right. Yeah, when the conditions are just right, you get those boundaries drop over the Marianas like in January, February. Once you fly about 3 miles north or about 30,000 feet, you'll probably see some ice and snow up there. But will that ever make it to the surface? Not likely for us. I don't like to say things are impossible because nature does what it wants, but it's tropics, it's hot. Like I said, when we get these boundaries in January, February, it brings a little bit drier air, so it does get a little chilly, especially if you go out in the Tumon Bay and you go swimming. That's about as good as it gets for us. In the tropics, not bad. Basically, the tropical weather season for us is, I'd almost say the book is shut for the tropics for us this year. Nothing out there. A tropical storm Vanco that has made landfall into the Southeast Asia. Otherwise, no tropical waves. We see no suspect area for action this week. Once we look into the week ahead, the winds behind this, that will give us higher risk of rip currents across Guam, Tinian and Saipan and Rota. Those strong winds to our north, those are generating this larger swell. That's going to make its way towards Guam around Tuesday. It's going to be building through Tuesday night, and peak on Wednesday night into Thursday. Lesser swell and surf for us because the directional of approach will be between bearing 010 and 030. So we're going to get a little bit of blockage from the Northern Mariana Islands and CNMI because those waves are going to be coming from that direction. So we're going to get a little bit of blockage across our northern reefs, but there will be a moderate risk of rip currents. It could become a high risk of rip currents. That's for surf of 9 feet or greater along north and east facing reefs. So keep a close look on our surf forecast around midweek. Otherwise, we do have a weak trade wind disturbance that could push through late Wednesday into Thursday that will bring us a little uptick in showers. Otherwise, not a bad week today or this week. Just kind of a precursor of the coming drier trade wind season.
Landon, by any chance, did you hear what happened over at the Barragata Readiness Center? How they had to shut down the gas station because of a lightning strike or something like that?
No, I've not heard that, but that's definitely a possibility. I think that was associated with the weather last week.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, last week.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a lot of showers and thunderstorms, and unfortunately my phone was trying to go through an update and got stalled in a restore mode. And so I was without telephone for about 3 days until I got my phone resituated. And I missed one interview. A reporter was asking about the weather on Wednesday and impacts. And I was like, sorry, I missed that. I had no phone, no communications. But that's definitely a possibility.
All right.
Wow. Jay wanted to know if he could get more information about where did you say it was going to be a little chilly?
Not for us.
Okay.
That cold front's going to stay well to our north, so it's not going to to get chilly out there yet.
Okay, Jay. Sorry to disappoint.
I was getting ready to wear my thermals to work.
It's long johns, guys. Long johns.
It's going to be hot and sunny here, so it's going to be much of the same that we've seen over the last several days.
Thank you, Lennon. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
and
buddy.
if things take a turn anyway, we'll get you back on later this week.
All right. Thank you.
All right. There you go. He's already transitioned to Christmas decorating.
He color coordinates his entire office. Did you see those like shades of like green today?
Yeah. Wow. Look at that. See, there you go. The Christmas cam.
Wow.
Have you started, Bree?
Come on now.
Christmas decorating, Jay?
No.
I thought about it. Some people have already started like all out. What else is there to do though? You know what I mean?
If
Might as well. Minus whale.
You at home.
Minus whale.
It helps to pass the time, and you stay at home. I mean, more power to you. I mean, go. You know, this is a movie reference, but go all Clark W. Griswold. You know.
Then there you go. We're getting more of the Christmas decorations here. The National Weather Service, where it's already 'tis the season there. He's got the line of flags there, and in the background you could see the Christmas tree. One of the, what do you call that, Jay? Is that, what kind of tree is that?
Is it cherry blossom?
Yeah, it looks like a cherry blossom in green. So there you go. A little bit of Christmas spirit. You guys be good this morning. I might play a Christmas song later. Thank you, Landon.
Thanks, Landon.
Thank you.
Oh, there you go.
Have a great day.
You too, my man. It's 7:07. We'll take a quick break, and I don't know. We'll go from Christmas to Dr. Ho when. I'm not sure if he's got any good tidings for us this morning, but we'll find out. It's 7:07. Again, this is the Link on the Breeze.
How's that for an intro?
93.9. Good morning, Guam.
The holidays are almost here, and we could all use an extra dose of cheer and joy this year. So, we're breaking the rules and giving you a holiday head start on Breeze 93.9 FM. Throughout the months of October and November, listen to the special holiday head start blocks of all the season's favorites from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. and again from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Let's try to make spirits bright and make this the most wonderful time of the year. Happy holidays from Breeze. Holiday Head Start is brought to you by Mariana's Coating, specializing in roof repair and more. Call 483-3967 for more information.
Life as we know it changed this year. Our health, families, jobs, and finances have been in jeopardy. We've witnessed loss in more ways than one. And at a time when nothing could be more comforting than coming together to fill this loss, share the love, and lean on each other for support, we've been asked to stay apart for our own safety. This year on Giving Tuesday, the need will be greater than ever, but we'll also face more obstacles than ever in spreading love, kindness, and generosity to those who need it most. So we're challenging you, yes, all of you Guam, to help create a wave of generosity like we have never seen before. We can all do it. Small acts, big acts, businesses, schools, churches, clubs, men, women, children. Let's do this. Giving Tuesday is this December 1st. What will you do?
We are in the worst economic crisis of our lives. We're in the worst healthcare crisis in 100 years. I've outlined a plan that takes full advantage of the military buildup to make it a local buildup, utilizing our local workers and companies. I've presented a viable plan to create a special immigration zone with the CNMI. It will increase visitor numbers and increase federal support of our crippled tourism industry. I will immediately diversify the economy, utilizing technology and research in areas like aquaculture and information technology and the establishment of mega data centers in Guam. But first, we must get people back to work and more federal pandemic relief funding. We don't need more exaggerated promises from the incumbent. We need honesty and integrity in our delegate's office. I am Robert Underwood, and I humbly ask you for your vote. And I approve this message. Si Diyos maasi, maraming salamat po.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Today, the KUM Care Force is calling upon our island community to come together for Giving Tuesday on December 1st for a safe way to help take care of our island family.
On Tuesday, December 1st, stop through our parking lot in Harmon for our donation drive-through.
We're helping the Salvation Army's holiday campaign. You can drop off your non-perishable food items and gifts for kids and teens to our curbside attendants so we can help ensure your safety.
We'll have holiday entertainment while you wait, refreshments, and other goodies for donors.
And the link will be live on location,
so you can be part of the show.
It's all happening between 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Let's get together and show the world that Guam can still come together for good on Giving Tuesday.
Uproar Race to 21 Challenge. 2020 is one year we can't wait to put in the rearview mirror. So lace up, get ready, set, and run to 21 with the Guam Rona Challenge. Join the virtual challenge starting now through December 31st. Go at your own pace and select from 100, 2, or the 300-mile challenge. To register, visit runtochallenge.com. Special thanks to KUAM Communications, Trench Challenge, and Kill Cliff. This is an Uproar event. Proceeds benefit the Special Olympics Guam. Thrive, a coalition for a drug-free Dedido, is an active partnership of community members and leaders committed to a vibrant, resilient, and empowered Dedido. It takes a village to raise healthy and drug-free youth. Thrive with us. Find us online or email thrive@westcare.com.
You're watching The Link with Chris and Sabrina on TV 11, but don't leave yet because we're coming up next on CBS This Morning.
We got your 6.
At 6 a.m. with The Link on Breeze 93.9 FM. Bree and I connect you with all the latest news and information you need to know to start your day.
Then check back with Guam's news leader at 6 p.m. for the day's top headlines with KUAM News Primetime.
From 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and everything else in between with KUAM Digital, we got your 6.
Cruising the day, then park the spot after dark in the village. Jordan's where you'll find me, or down in Naval Mag with my nails right beside me. We just chillin', cause that's the way we do. Call the Chelus, tell them we gon' barbecue. The crew rollin' by tonight. We got Slim on the left and YD to the right.
Let me take you to an island where the sun never stops shining. to get some brew, cause I just got paid. Put up the canopy to get some shade, so we could kick back like it was nothing at all. While my primos and my homies playing
Basketball.
The day is going smooth the way I thought it would be. Me and my family by the coconut tree, relaxed, waiting for the food to be done. My nephew's calling me to play one-on-one. I said,
wait, boy.
I have to make the tanak, and once I get finished, I cook the tatagat, so we can chow down like we never.
Sound like he's the main chef. He's doing the tata he's doing the tanak. 7:15. Good morning. It's the Link on the Breeze, 93.9. Monday, the 16th day of November, year of our Lord. It's still the year of our Lord, even with everything going on. 2020, 7:15. Let's go to the K-Wave News Zoom room where we have the chair of the Physicians Advisory Group, Dr. Hoa Wen. Good morning, Doc.
Hi, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
It's Monday, so
yeah. What's good about this morning, Doc? Let's just start there.
Oh, you wake up in the morning is good, Chris.
Amen. That's where I start too. Hey, I'm here. A lot of people can't say the same thing because they didn't wake up this morning. So good point there, Doc. I guess just what happened with over the weekend from any discussion with the Physicians Advisory Group, any of your colleagues on talks about some of these numbers over the weekend. We had 156 positives yesterday, right, Bree?
Yes.
Yeah, I think, guys, most of those are from the construction company. The public health still do a lot of outreaching on some big construction company and to make sure that they kind of isolate on the positive in the construction company. So I think they have to kind of break it down to see how many of those 150 is out of a construction company. I think that's the majority of it. I don't think all the number have been out. Community-wise, the number kind of stable. It went down a little bit, but I think that the big number is from, construction company, from DOC, the inmate, and the guard. So those kind of screwed the number quite a bit. So I don't know. They kind of need to kind of spread them out so that way. I think people need to understand more where it's coming from, and I think that they are in the process of doing that. So there should be more information coming out the next days or so.
Yeah. We're getting Janella Carrera from Public Health on this morning at 8:30, so hopefully she'll be able to shed a little more light on who were these positives and where they came from. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I wasn't clarified
Yes.
in the CHIC report.
Yes, it's very confused, especially the weekend, and we've been asked them to clarify and report them differently during the weekend because sometimes the number is very small,
right,
and sometimes it's huge. So during the weekend and the Sunday is very confusing for everyone. More tests on the construction company, so hopefully the rest of them are not as high.
Doc, I ran into a friend of mine who works construction. He's working on a project on the base, and he said that they're still working. Do you know if because I know the governor had halted construction outside of the base, and I want to say it even included projects inside the fence line, at least where black construction was concerned. What's the status on that? Do you know? Have they stopped construction on the base or no? Or if you guys know out there, leave something in the comments.
Yeah, the order is supposed to be across the board, even inside the base. But I know the two big company, Black Construction and Cortec, have hold all the construction. So I'm not sure. I think the last day of work is the end of Saturday, but they shouldn't have any more construction going on inside the base because all construction, this one, even the DOD, they know that. It's construction company. It's just involves just a few, but now that's a huge number out of two big companies. So I think they're supposed to all stop as of the end of Saturday.
Last Saturday, right? The day before yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Sunday it's not supposed to have anyone working even on the base. I mean, DOD also agreed to abide by the rule, but they know that there's a huge risk for the company and also for the community.
Well, maybe he didn't get the memo, but we'll follow up on it. We're trying to get the admiral on this weekend or this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna put in the ask.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we didn't get a chance to talk to you. I think last week Friday. So I wanted to follow up on the meeting that the Physicians Advisory Group had on Thursday. You mentioned you may be bringing up, or you may have brought up the issue about quarantine and returning Guam residents and possible changes to protocols. Do you have an update?
Yeah, it's a lot of testing. There's a lot of testing protocol, but the platform, a lot of new things. The one is the Bimax antigen test, which is about 10-15 minutes, and so that play a factor on possibly doing the testing on a patient on the passenger coming in from off island for arriving passenger and quarantine. So I think right now we just try to figure out how to do it, when to do it, or where to do it. I mean, that's a lot of logistics thing you have to try to figure it out before we change any quarantine guideline at this point. I know right now still quarantine and testing out day 6 and then go home on day 7 and quarantine at home for the next 7 days. And depend on how we use and which platform we use. The discussion still in line on pre-arrival tests, test on arrival, and then test again on day number 7 if you are home quarantine. So those discussions are still in place, and it just have to make sure that we have the everything in line before we decide we change the quarantine rule. And also, we still have to consider this. So right now, as you can see in the news, there's another big spike again in the state they still break the record every day. So we have to look at that very carefully to make sure that we don't change too soon, as the state is also changing on the positivity rate in the state. They are climbing every day. So we still have to take all those factors into consideration when we want to change the quarantine rule.
So no. Go ahead.
Doc, so are you saying that you're planning on changing there could be a change in the quarantine policy given the crazy surges going on stateside?
Yeah, I mean, we have to take that into consideration. We don't want to change and shorten or cut the corner any, just because, if the state continue to surge on their rate, we don't want to change anything too soon. We just have to kind of observe them the next week to 2 weeks or so to see where they go. Right now, as you see, every day is a new record for the state. I mean, that's 100,000 is a lot. Right. So like I say, but we have everything here for platform for testing. We just need to make sure that we don't change anything too soon, because the state rather go down is going up quite rapidly. And as you go into the November, December, January timeframe, and with the current situation in the state, there's a lot of gathering, a lot of demonstration. You most likely will see the rate going up a lot higher.
Yeah, I was just reading that several states have enacted more rules now that the entire country is a hotspot of COVID-19 infection.
Yeah, even California will most likely put a 14-day quarantine for people coming in. And that's a thought that that might be in place. New York have a curfew after 10. There's a lot of places have kind of clamped down because the positive rate are going up. And again, there's a flu season on top of it. So they really had to approach their decision very carefully. So again, guys, we just have to be careful. We have everything in place, but we don't want to make decisions too hastily. And we have to go back and change it. So we just have to plan carefully.
Yeah, I was looking. Go ahead.
I know we were talking about testing for returning Guam residents and hopefully allowing them to just home quarantine. So while you're waiting to determine, monitoring all the different factors, what about, are you guys also then looking at toughening quarantine in terms of like no more early test out? Because like you said,
test out's always going to be there. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the sixth day, just while you're monitoring the rising cases in the mainland. Is that something you guys are also considering, or you're just considering the early test out? I mean, the returning Guam residents testing out.
We like to test as they arrive. That's one the main thing, because they have the biomass antigen card now, so it's pretty easy to do. You don't need the machine to do it, and it's take 10-15 minutes. So you can test the arrived passenger, but you have to test them again on day 7, even the day at home. That's it's a must. So again, that is have to be carefully thought out, because make sure the compliance of people show up on day 6 or day 7 to be tested. It have to be well thought out, and make sure that we can monitor the compliance of people through the system in the last one, because people doesn't show up to be tested on day 6 or 7. So we have to carefully make sure that everything in place to be able to monitor it and be able to enforce the testing out day 6 and day 7.
So let me just clarify. So you're saying that the new quarantine protocol that you are looking at, the Physicians Advisory Group is looking at, is that you have a pre-arrival negative test for returning Guam residents. You can quarantine at home, but you have to test on day 7 while you're on home quarantine. But you guys are looking into how are you going to make sure that people that are on home quarantine actually get tested on day 7. Is this the new policy you guys are looking at? Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, that's something that's on hold right now, just because we had to kind of monitor the situation in the state because the rates are going up so much. Everything is really changing on a daily, weekly basis based on what's going on around us.
Yeah.
There's a discussion, but like I say, it's going to happen or not really depend on what's happened around the world, and especially in the United States.
Yeah.
That's most of our incoming passenger in that state.
Yeah, I was looking here on
the Philippines is somewhat do a lot.
Say again. What about the Philippines?
But in the United States, the people returning from the States is a lot.
Yeah, I was looking here on the web. Utah, Doc, now has a statewide mask mandate. Ohio enacting stricter mask mandates for businesses. New Mexico is banning in-person services for non-essential businesses. Maryland is scaling back indoor restaurant dining capacity from 75 to 50%. New York says most bars and restaurants must close by 10 p.m. Oregon is closing indoor restaurant dining and limiting social gatherings to no more than 6 people. In the Navajo Nation, which I think we've looked at, will also implement stricter measures starting Monday, including virtual learning for students and the closure of non-essential government services. So that's what's happening stateside with this surge now, where I think they saw
Yeah.
1,300 deaths on Saturday.
Yeah, and in Guam, as you can see, the number of hospitalization is down to in the 70. But again, the dangerous part about the ICU and the vent are up. That's the bad part.
Yeah.
The
Well, I think 70.
severity of the people that in the hospital are very high. So it's just not good to have that many ICU and that much people in the vent.
Doc, has the Physicians Advisory Group, because we've been doing this response for, I think, 8 months? I think that's what we said at the top of the show. Has the Physicians Advisory Group taken any time to look at and examine and assess the government's response thus far in terms of what's working and what's not working? What we've done a good job at and what we haven't done a good job at and what we should be doing?
Sabrina, again, everyone see this, and it's not just advisory group, and everyone in the public noticed, and some of you guys have personal experience on it. The rate of positivity rate going up so fast, and we have over 1,000 active case at this point. It's overwhelmed for any agency, including public health, to handle it, and they are adjusting. They are trying, we're still overwhelmed. We talk about, again, digital platforms just to try to work smarter rather than harder, because the case increase now. We're still pushing public health and get into a digital platform rather than everything manual. So that way everything can happen faster. The isolation, the initial contact tracing still kind of lag behind quite a bit. And that's something that it will have to improve a lot as we go further to this pandemic, until the vaccine come. So there's a lot of room for improvement, and there's a lot of manpower need to be probably need to look at, and again, you can have the manpower, but you have to work somewhat smarter. And again, there's a lot of digital platform there that you have to incorporate, and you need to incorporate it a lot faster in order to maximize everything that you do at this point. Because if we don't do that soon, we will get way behind. So there's a lot of room for improvement.
Right, but you talk about moving to digital platforms and things like that. But I thought, is the COVID app alert? Is it working? We had that Mocha. I don't even know the name of all of the different digital things that we talked about in the past.
Yeah, the Sarah Alert and the COVID One apps are helping on the symptom monitoring, and helping on the contact tracing. But again, especially with Guam COVID app, you have to have a certain amount of people in Guam that download before it can work effectively.
Right.
I mean, I think the number of 60%, not quite sure where we are at this point regarding percentage of download. So those things will help. But again, the digital platform we're talking about is that if you have a positive on the patient, you got it on the lab, especially on PCR to DLS or public health, is help to identify and contact the patient immediately for isolation and do the contact tracing. Those are just still far behind. So it's something that the digital platform, so it's just makes it so much faster rather than manual paperwork. Again, we will continue to push that, and it's kind of hard sometime during the government because there's a lot of things you have to go through in order to get approved and move forward. It's different than public, and private. With private, we just make it happen the next day. But in the public setting, in the government setting, things have to move kind of slow because you have a lot of approval to be made. But again, we will continue to push it because we need to move. We're about more than we kind of behind, more likely a few weeks already. So a few months
we
already.
are. Yeah, yep.
Yeah, but Doc, you've been mentioning that we need to do all these improvements now for months. So I'm just kind of trying to figure out what's the holdup. I mean, you have been talking about this. I mean, where's the bottleneck? I mean, why can't we get it done? Is it just people?
I don't
it
know.
Money? Is it the lack of will? What is it?
And it's something that
Because at the end of the day, people are saying, what's up with this physicians advisory group? Are they doing their job? Are they advising the governor? Is the governor listening?
Yeah, Sabrina, Chris, remember the term advisory group. We give advice and we give recommendation, but as far as power to make it happen, we advise, and and will take the advice and they have to make it happen, but we cannot enforce anything that we say. We just advise. There's a difference with the power to change. We don't have the power to change. We just we look at every angle, every situation. We do a lot of study, we do a lot of reading, and even from our personal experience, our practice, we make that advice. And again, the governor, public health, and even other agency will look at advice, and they either take it or not take it, or process or not process, and then how fast they move is really up on their power now. We will continue to push it. Through the meetings, we can push through the media, make sure that we have our voice heard. And again, it's advice that we give, and we cannot make it happen. Though I mean, it's up to power to make it happen, and follow advice only. So we have our limitation. Sometimes it's frustrated, but again, we see things in a different way. Because the advisory group consists of many physicians, and we base everything on our practice and our experience in dealing with the patient. And you guys know, we spoke up for the patient, we spoke up for the people, and we just try our best and give advice to improve the process.
How frustrating is it, 1 to 10? 10 being, I want to just,
It's frustrating, but it's a challenge, and we want to improve our whole island, so we cannot give up. We will continue to do what we do. Again, it's become a part of trying our best to make sure that the island move forward. Again, we just give advice, and we do, and probably half our advice have been followed, but again, the main part, like the digital platform, we will continue to push in many ways, just because even some private sector are also are ready to move forward the digital platform to do themselves, and that's something that everyone realized that you will be working much smarter and harder. With a small amount of people, you can make things happen by digitalize everything.
So it's 10 plus frustrating.
So we try.
I look so positive, this guy.
It's okay.
He's like, they only listen to 50% of what we say, but you know what? We're going to try.
Real quickly, Doc, is there
We'll
any
continue.
is there any of physicians from the military on this physicians advisory group?
Dr. Mike Cruz and Dr. Louis Cruz
No,
from the Guard.
she means like the other
And
military, not the guard.
no. There's no active duty on it. The military is not on this group. Yeah, they have their own, and they meet with public health, I think, regularly on their part.
Doc, we're trying to get this car score down. It's a 41.5 right now. Before we let you go, what advice would you give to the people of Guam to get this car score down so that we can get our rewards for the holidays?
Yeah, I think everyone, again, is back to basic. It's everyone's responsibility. They just need to wear their mask, social distance, hand washing, and try not to gather with other people outside their house. And we can do that. This car score will come down. The car score is kind of screwed quite a bit because of the current cluster that we have. But if you break it down to a car score just on the community, we can do it. We can get it down to less than 5%, if people just follow those three basic things I just say, and then keep it to your house. Our challenge coming up with the Thanksgiving holiday, and then a few more weeks of Christmas holiday. So I don't know, people just have to buy turkey and ham and sand to the other house. Card score will continue to go up if we continue to gather. So again, social distance, 6 feet, and wear your mask, and that should be able to be okay. I know it's a long battle. I don't think that we anywhere where we want it yet. It's a marathon. I don't know which mile marker we are in.
Yep, this is a marathon. That's why I don't.
Marathon, so
yep. I'm more of a 10K guy.
Just don't give up. We might be my market number 1. I don't know, but let's see. We continue to work on it. And,
Doc, I gotta say though, I'm tracking this Thanksgiving thing, and there's no yams anywhere. I can't find any pumpkin filling. It scares me. It scares me because that means people are buying it up because they're gonna have their Thanksgiving.
Just to remind people, guys, and everyone have to be responsible, and that's what we want to do. We need to move things, low down our car score, so that way we can open more business and get our life somewhat the new normal. So I know a lot of business are kind of trimming down and close their door, but we need to really try as a home community to try to kind of, I would say, be responsible, and we can move forward. It's a new norm. We need to learn how to live with this virus.
Thank you, Doc.
Thanks, Doc.
You're welcome, guys. Have a good day. And
hang in there, Doc. You got this. You got this. Your daughter, by the way, I think it's your daughter, commented when I asked you 1 to 10 how frustrating is it. She put, it's a 10. My dad said when he comes home after the meetings, he's too nice when it comes to public health's lack of action.
They hear that at home, so it's okay.
You better start watching what you say around your kids, Doc. Snitches. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Okay, we'll see you. He's like, where are you at? We're gonna no more internet when I'm on the link. Hey, 7:43. We'll take a quick break and we're coming back with more of the show. Next, Good Morning Guam.
The holidays are almost here, and we could all use an extra dose of cheer and joy this year. So, we're breaking the rules and giving you a holiday head start on Breeze 93.9 FM. Throughout the months of October and November, listen to the special holiday head start blocks of all the season's favorites from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. and again from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Let's try to make spirits bright and make this the most wonderful time of the year. Happy holidays from Breeze. Holiday Head Start is brought to you by Mariana's Coating, specializing in roof repair and more. Call 483-3967 for more information.
We are in the worst economic crisis of our lives. We're in the worst healthcare crisis in 100 years. I've outlined a plan that takes full advantage of the military buildup to make it a local buildup, utilizing our local workers and companies. I've presented a viable plan to create a special immigration zone with the CNMI. It will increase visitor numbers and increase federal support of our crippled tourism industry. I will immediately diversify the economy, utilizing technology and research in areas like aquaculture, information technology, and the establishment of mega data centers in Guam. But first, we must get people back to work and more federal pandemic relief funding. We don't need more exaggerated promises from the incumbent. We need honesty and integrity in our delegate's office. I am Robert Underwood, and I humbly ask you for your vote. And I approve this message. Si Diyos maasi, maraming salamat po.
Top today, the KUN Care Force is calling upon our island community to come together from Giving Tuesday on December 1st for a safe way to help take care of our island family.
On Tuesday, December 1st, stop through our parking lot in Harmon for our donation drive-through.
We're helping the Salvation Army's holiday campaign. You can drop off your non-perishable food items and gifts for kids and teens to our curbside attendants so we can help ensure your safety.
We'll have holiday entertainment while you wait, refreshments, and other goodies for donors.
And the link will be live on location,
So you can be part of the show.
it's all happening between 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Let's get together and show the world that Guam can still come together for good on Giving Tuesday.
Uproar Race to 21 Challenge. 2020 is 1 year we can't wait to put in the rearview mirror. So lace up, get ready, set, and run to 21 with the Guam Rona Challenge. Join the virtual challenge starting now through December 31st. Go at your own pace and select from 100, 2, or the 300-mile challenge. To register, visit runtochallenge.com. Special thanks to KUAM Communications, Trench Challenge, and Kill Cliff. This is an Uproar event. Proceeds benefit the Special Olympics Guam. Thrive, a coalition for a drug-free Dedido, is an active partnership of community members and leaders committed to a vibrant, resilient, and empowered Dedido. It takes a village to raise healthy and drug-free youth. Thrive with us. Find us online or email thrive@westcare.com.
The Christmas Pops virtual holiday shopping fair is coming on Sunday, November 29th. It's the third annual Christmas Pops event with local artisans, crafters, and businesses in a reimagined and safe way for you to shop. As many small businesses struggle to survive, the call to buy local is greater than ever. To learn more and participate in this one-of-a-kind multimedia marketplace event on the stations and digital platforms of KUAM Communications, bringing together the island's biggest array of local vendors, email bettyann@kuam.com or visit kuam.com. Presented to you by Stroll Courier. Get all your packages, documents, and gifts delivered island-wide. Visit strollguam.com/courier and book a delivery today. And Domino's. Visit domino's.gu for faster, easier online ordering.
We are in the worst economic crisis of our lives. We're in the worst healthcare crisis in 100 years. I've outlined a plan that takes full advantage of the military buildup to make it a local buildup, utilizing our local workers and companies. I've presented a viable plan to create a special immigration zone with the CNMI. It will increase visitor numbers and increase federal support of our crippled tourism industry. I will immediately diversify the economy, utilizing technology and research in areas like aquaculture, information technology, and the establishment of mega data centers in Guam. But first, we must get people back to work and more federal pandemic relief funding. We don't need more exaggerated promises from the incumbent. We need honesty and integrity in our delegate's office. I am Robert Underwood, and I humbly ask you for your vote. And I approve this message. Si Diyos maasi, maraming salamat po.
Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
You're watching The Link with Chris and Sabrina on TV 11. Stick around because we're next on CBS This Morning.
We got your 6.
At 6 a.m. with The Link on Breeze 93.9 FM. Bree and I connect you with all the latest news and information you need to know to start your day.
Then check back with Guam's news leader at 6 p.m. for the day's top headlines with KUAM News Primetime.
From 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and everything else in between with KUAM Digital, we got your 6. Good morning. Good morning, Guam. 7:52 on The Link, The Breeze 93.9. We're proudly brought to you by Cabo Select Care, federal employees and annuitants. It's the 2020 federal benefits season, open season. It's open season. Enroll now until December 14, 2020. Call 477-9808 for more info. Also proudly brought to you by IT&E, the Thrive Coalition, Burger King, Carrier, Dial Rentone, and Cabo Enterprises. Good morning. Let's go into the KUAM News Zoom room here where we have just a day ahead of the congressional runoff election. The chairs of the respective political parties, the Republican chair, we have Senator-elect Tony Atta, and from the Democrat side, Sarah Thomas Nettie Dog. Good morning.
Good morning, Chris, Bree, and Jason. Good morning, Sarah.
Unmute.
Okay.
There you are.
Buenas.
Hi.
Buenas and half a day.
I wanted to
Hi,
bring...
Chris and Sabrina.
Hi,
Hey,
Sarah.
Jenny.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Wanted to bring you guys on first. We could start with some common ground here. I actually had to pinch myself because it looks like you guys agreed on something over the weekend, and this is regarding the appointment of Judge Maria Senzon by President Trump. I saw a couple press releases where you guys had expressed, congratulations, at least, for the selection of Judge Senzon. So I guess we'll just start, Sarah, with your side from the Democratic Party of Guam. Because I know that Judge Senzon is, I want to say she's kind of BFFs with Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio. I see him all over the place, different galas sitting together. I know they're buddies. So what was the response from the Democratic Party on the selection of Judge Maria, Sarah?
Well, first of all, the response really came from my perspective of Maria Senzon, and I did gauge the thoughts of our executive leadership of the party, and there wasn't really any opposition. I think the idea with Maria Senzon is, first and foremost, we're glad that she was appointed because she's someone from the island. The president has the prerogative to make this appointment. That's just the truth of it, yeah. And she is a person from Guam. He could have appointed somebody from somewhere else to come to Guam and have that seat. But he chose to appoint someone from Guam, and for that, we're thankful. And I think that's the key. And Maria Senzon, I know her family, and I think she's a wonderful person, and I think she's a great candidate. Now, if this was a different time, different president, different situation, it might be a different perspective. But as of right now, we respect the fact that the president has that prerogative and that he did appoint someone that was local. And for that, we are pleased.
Typically, though, isn't it the governor, whoever the governor is at the time, who appoints or nominates somebody to the president? Because, I'm reading the governor's release.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's the right thing to do, and it's respectful when, the president makes an appointee and he reaches out to the head of that state or territory and gets feedback as well. So, I understand that did not happen, and that's very disappointing. And that really should have been the process, but that did not happen. And for that, that's unfortunate. So, usually that would be the case where the president would reach out to the governor and just ask. The governor doesn't make the decision unilaterally, but the governor would certainly have input. And my understanding in this case, that did not happen, which is unfortunate.
Tony?
Yeah, we thank the Sarin, for their release for Maria Senzon, Judge Senzon. She has a distinguished career, 17 years in private practice, the former legal counsel to Governor Calvo, a Superior Court judge. She has, the qualifications, and like Sarah said, though, as to why the Governor Liu was not asked or had any recommendations, we don't understand that as well. But that being said, the bottom line is she's a daughter from Guam, and that's what we're all proud of, and we continue to be proud of. And had it been the president's choice to renominate the current judge, Tidinko Gatewood, we would have been just as proud, because once again, she's a daughter from Guam, and that's what we look forward to, is always having our people represent, here. And that's what had happened this past nomination. We just hope that the Senate comes to a conclusion and confirms Maria Senzon to the bench.
Tony,
and we look forward to Governor Liu appointing her judge to the Superior Court once that nomination for Maria Senzon goes through and she gets confirmed.
Tony, were you surprised at all by the tone from the release from Adelup? Wouldn't it have been much easier to say, hey, congratulations?
But I think the governor was within her that was her opinion, and it's we have to respect that. That yeah, she probably wasn't asked or to send up recommendations or anything like that. But whatever that process was, is beyond anyone's control here on the island. And we just got to be thankful for the nomination that the president did make to the bench.
I want to just make a note
Sure.
that, Chris.
Okay.
I think that first of all, Judge Gatewood really needs to be acknowledged for the time that she has spent on the bench and kind of in a interesting situation. She's an incredible judge. She's a wonderful person, and I don't think anyone would say that Judge Gatewood isn't deserving of that, of that appointment, and that's really unfortunate, because she really is awesome, and she's been there, kind of like in a strange situation for about a year or so. And so we want to laud her. We want to acknowledge her contributions. And if for some reason the nomination of Judge Senson doesn't come through, then we're going to revisit this in January. So we'll see how it all goes, and we want to thank all the possible nominees, including Judge Gatewood, that come from that who are Democrat or who come from other parties, but who may be interested. I know one of the processes that I had observed in the past is even when the bar makes, kind of does this review and makes some recommendations. As a social worker, we do the same thing when there's an appointment like that. We try to weigh in and just make some comments about that. So this whole process where was not really true community involvement is unfortunate, So it doesn't take away from, I think, the respect and the admiration that people have of Maria Senson. Not at all, but I think it's the process that people, are feeling uncomfortable about.
All right, let's talk runoff election. Tony, I don't know if you guys even have your 2 cents on this, but I'm going to ask anyway. So what's the Republican Party of Guam? I saw you guys came out with a release encouraging people to come out and vote, right?
Yeah, definitely, Chris. We don't endorse, we won't endorse either of the candidates, but, we feel that the people still need to come out and vote. We hope that both Congressman Nicholas and former Congressman Underwood have reached out to as many people as they can, talk about their platforms, what they plan to do when they, when they get into the Congress again, and what is it that the people of Guam can expect from them. And I think that's very important moving forward, so that, whoever wins this election on Tuesday, we look forward to working with them so that we can bring the issues of our island up to DC and work with the governor, work with the legislature, and work with our congressional delegate to ensure that our people are not forgotten and the island needs are met. So, that's the bottom line, and we hope that everyone goes out to vote.
What did you make of that meeting in the outside kitchen that happened between Democrat candidate, former Congressman Robert Underwood, and the Republican contender for Washington delegate, Will Castro?
Well, that was made at his own private residence as a private citizen, and they're entitled to do what they please as private citizens. So how that became into social media, that's between the two of them, and I think that they both
they posted it on social media.
Yeah, they both sat down and talked. So that's on the two of them.
Did it seem like maybe St. Nicholas is more like the Republican-y guy out of the two? I mean, did it sit well with you that Senator Castro, I mean, it's pretty much an endorsement of Underwood, right?
Well, he said he voted for him.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what he said.
Yeah.
But he, as a private citizen, again, that's that's his duty, is to go out and vote, and who he votes for is his decision. We work well with Congressman St. Nicholas when he always reaches out to the party to what we can do to get meetings or talk with folks in DC, and whoever becomes the next congressman, we look forward to doing the same thing. The bottom line is, once this election is over, like I said, we need to continue working together for our people, and hopefully that we get this election over with, and so that we can press on with the important matters and the priorities of our island and people.
Sarah?
Well, I think we just need to move on and get going, and let the people make a final decision. I think any further delays is just it's not gonna cut it. It's not correct. I don't think it's the best choice. I think we need to go in, and people have been seeing both candidates on social media. It's unfortunate that that's the primary venue in which people can hear, listen, and ask questions. But it's just, again, our reality now. We can't go up and talk to them, and that's a rarity. That would be very difficult to do. But if folks have any questions, they can still reach out to them on their social media and ask them, about their sentiments or their positions on certain things. But we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We just, first and foremost, I really want to just encourage everyone to go out and vote. It's our civic duty. It's an opportunity to voice what you believe in and what you think is important. And they have different thoughts and perspectives on how Guam will be represented and what will be the priorities. So that's for each person to decide for themselves. And now, the Republicans can vote. Anyone can vote now, who's of course a registered voter, can go out and vote for either of these candidates without feeling like, okay, I'm not voting for my Republican person or whatever, but to vote for the best of the two. And I just want to acknowledge Will Castro. I think he gave it a good bat, and he's also, to me, a very wonderful and thoughtful representative of the people. So, congratulations to him and to you, Tony, for a really good, I think for the most part, a clean campaign, and some people were accusing us, like, what's going on with you Democrats and Republicans? You guys are not fighting. It's like a love fest. And I'm like, okay, this is not to us, I think Tony will agree with me. This is not about fighting. This is about presenting our perspective and earning the trust and the confidence of our people, and focusing on what is real for us right now. And that is our health, that is our safety, that's our getting our economy back on in a safe way, and just supporting our people on the ground. That's where our focus is.
Do you think
So-
that, go ahead.
I was going to ask Sarah, did you have any opportunity to speak to both candidates, the congressman and the former congressman, to come together and give the people an opportunity to debate or have a forum, or anything like that?
I think the voters really
we
lost.
did have every last Tuesday of the month, the Democratic leadership gathers and in our central executive committee. And so that's the party officers and the leaders from all the villages. We come together every last Tuesday of the month. And of course, we talked about this subject. It was very intense, how the party should position itself, with this. And I think you all might have seen our news release where, we basically said that, we're leaving it up to the people to determine what they see best. And we don't have any particular person that we want to support. But Congressman Underwood was there, and Congressman St. Nicholas was not able to make it, but he had 2 staffers in attendance, and of course they made the pitch for Congressman St. Nicholas. So I have communicated with him. I've sent him messages, and I'm always very hopeful that he will participate in party activities and participate with the party. So
I mean, not even that,
So
Sarah.
throughout this whole Decision 2020 process, have you had any conversations with the congressman, or has he attended any of the party meetings that you were referencing, or was it just his representatives?
I talked with him a couple of months ago in person. And since then, I haven't had the opportunity to talk to him in person, or just, him and I on a Zoom chat. And he was not able to make any of our forums, nor was he present at our Central Executive Committee meeting, but did send representatives.
Sarah, what about this whole debate issue, this forum issue? I feel like it was a loss for the voters, and I feel like it was kind of upsetting to me that we didn't get that. We didn't get these candidates all at the same place working hard for the vote. And I wonder, is this just setting precedent for future elections where now it's like, oh, we have a sitting congressman who doesn't feel like he has to debate, and, whatever party structure is not, exerting the pressure on all the candidates to sit down together, next election? Is it just going to be the norm now, where these candidates feel like they don't got to come and, take their case to the people?
Chris, I don't think that that's what's in our future. I don't think that people would perceive that the lack of a debate is an indication that people are not going to call on our leadership to be in a forum to express their perspective and to hear what the people say. I think that's a very important part of our process, in determining our leadership, and the duty and responsibility of people who are running for office to talk about what they feel is their path forward, and so that people can make a very informed choice. Now, the Congressman St. Nicholas did not want to participate, and so that left Congressman Underwood, and that really would not have been a debate or a forum of any sorts. So that was unfortunate, and we agree. And in the future, I could tell you that this is not necessarily going to be the way of the world, because this happened and it was unfortunate. And so we, I don't really understand the decision, but it's you're inviting someone, and if they don't want to accept an invitation, then
How much of it, though? How much of this reluctance of the congressman to participate or attend any of these Central Executive Committee meetings is a result of something that he's been saying ever since about the Democratic Party and the governor, going after him, and all those? I think you can recall ever since on Facebook since January, I want to say, when all these allegations came forward from John Paul Manuel that he's being set up, all of that it's right. All because of his party basically is going after him. So how much of that do you think?
I don't know. And as chair of the Democratic Party, I have never sat in a session where there was a strategy to undermine Congressman Mike Nicholas. I've never been in a meeting like that. Mm-hmm. I've never engaged in those kinds of discussions. And, I know somewhat of him. I've had the opportunity to speak with him several times over the years. I know his awesome parents. And I've never engaged in that kind of conversation to undermine him or anybody else, So I don't know what the evidence may be for anyone to say that there was an actual, strategy to do that, because that certainly wasn't one that I endorsed or even was aware of. So I don't know. I don't know where that is coming from. And if he has those sources, then he should bring it forward if he feels it's an election violation, or if it's something that he feels the party did, which would be wrong for the party to formally just try to cutthroat one over the other. There may be people in the party that would endorse one. I have lots of people in the party that endorse Congressman Nicholas to this day. And there are those that support Congressman Underwood. So I would say be informed, people. Go out there and listen and research and, make this decision. It's so critical, and don't be swayed by anything other than, a critical thought and a very informed thought.
Tony, what do you think? I bet you guys are loving this Democrat on Democrat violence.
No, I think that, Chris, what it comes down to is, and Sarah said it right, they need to get their platforms out there, and the people need to vote for either Delegate St. Nicholas or former Delegate Underwood, so that we need to get moving with the people's priorities and agenda. And that's the bottom line. We need to get this election over with. Perhaps we had a primary, we probably wouldn't have been in this situation to begin. But, that being said, and, that's in the past, we need to deal with what is today and what's going to be coming up tomorrow. And let's just get it over with and move on. And I agree with Sarah. We just have to move on.
Well, we can't move on till we get these results. So it's going to be exciting. Place your bets. Tony, who are you betting on?
The Election Commission has done a fabulous job these past several months with the general election, curbside voting, doing what they can to accommodate the public.
Amen.
And, there were some hiccups, but you know what? We should take our hats off and give them a big round of applause, because, they did their job. They did what needed to be done, and they continue to do it up to this day. And hopefully tomorrow, after the runoff election, that we get the results as soon as possible and move on again, right?
Yeah.
Right, Sarah?
I don't know if you guys saw this letter from Dr. Shea.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Dear Governor and all, as the rate of positivity continues to rise and worse than during the time when the primary election was canceled, CAR score of over 41, you may wish to consider asking the legislative body and GEC to postpone the runoff election. Calling out 30,000 plus people at this critical time period is placing the island at risk for COVID spread. I think postponing the runoff election would go along with your prior message of what matters most, and that is saving lives and preventing the spread of COVID. Thank you for your consideration. Dr. Tom Shea. Anything?
It's his opinion. It's his opinion, definitely. And, our people are going out right now. They're going to the stores, they're going to restaurants. And I know our rates are high. And for those people who have been diagnosed with the virus, and I've had very close friends pass away from it, very close friends, lifelong friends. So it's very painful, to see this disease, ravage our island as it has. But I would also say that GEC has done an incredible amount. If you guys have gone to GEC to vote, oh my gosh, they are on top of it. You feel absolutely safe, and you feel like the place is really sanitized, and they're doing every possible thing and all the recommendations that are made. So I would encourage people to go. I think they're open today till 12 o'clock.
Yeah, we have Maria.
Till 12 noon.
She's standing by to go on.
So people should go to the drive-through. That is so safe. But cast your vote, and let's do it, and let's move on. And tomorrow, when people are going out to their villages to vote, please make sure, because if you don't have your mask, and if you're not, I don't think they're going to let you in. So make sure you have your mask and that you are prepared. And if you're sick, stay home. And let's do this because we want to see, you know, we have 55,800 registered voters and we got over 50% in the general election. And we'd like to see, you know, at least 40% of those numbers. I'm praying for that. You know, 20,000 people come out and vote. I understand about 5,000 did early voting at GCIC already, right? So that's, if we're trying to hit the 25,000, you know, it's possible. So go out there and vote and be safe. And if you're sick, stay home. Biba,
right on. Thank you, Tony. Anything in closing?
No, you know what? Again, like Sarah said as well, we need our people to go out there and vote. We need to ensure that at least 40%, like Sarah said, but vote. Go out there and exercise your right to vote. I mean, I know Dr. Shea, penned that letter, but if we delay this process any longer, just like what we did with the primary, when we were only in double digits back during the primary, had we had the primary, we wouldn't be here today. But with that being said again, we just need to get the runoff election over with so that we can move on with our lives and move on with the process of getting everyone certified and the election commission can go back to, going back to normal again.
Yeah.
But, thank you to everyone that's made the process possible over at the election commission.
I think Dr. Shea was just bored and needed to put, he's like, I haven't put out a letter in a week. Let me put something out.
I haven't blogged in a while.
Yeah. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, guys. You guys have
Sabrina.
Bye.
Wonderful.
All right. There you go. Guys, what do we have, Jay? It's Jason's week. Or whose week is it?
DJ Joser.
DJ Joser. So we have
Make for us, Joe.
macaroni and hot dog soup.
Yes.
Okay. What? Sarah, we have, what do you call that, sir? That's what you call it, macaroni and hot dog soup.
Well, tomorrow I
with
heard
the milk in it.
He's doing something special for our guest tomorrow because tomorrow is the election day. So
Right.
he's making virtual halo halo.
There you go. It's going to be pre-assembled, though. Sarah, please have some virtual macaroni and hot dog soup. Okay. It's 8:21. Let's we'll take just a really quick break, and then we're going to come back with Maria Pangilinan from the Guam Election Commission next. On the link, it's The Breeze 93.9. Good morning.
The holidays are almost here, and we could all use an extra dose of cheer and joy this year. So, we're breaking the rules and giving you a holiday head start on Breeze 93.9 FM. Throughout the months of October and November, listen to the special holiday head start blocks of all the season's favorites from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. and again from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Let's try to make spirits bright and make this the most wonderful time of the year. Happy holidays from Breeze. Holiday Head Start is brought to you by Mariana's Coating, specializing in roof repair and more. Call 483-3967 for more information.
How today, the KUN Care Force is calling upon our island community to come together for Giving Tuesday on December 1st for a safe way to help take care of our island family.
On Tuesday, December 1st, stop through our parking lot in Harmon for our donation drive-through.
We're helping the Salvation Army's holiday campaign. You can drop off your non-perishable food items and gifts for kids and teens to our curbside attendants so we can help ensure your safety.
We'll have holiday entertainment while you wait, refreshments, and other goodies for donors.
And the link will be live on location.
So you can be part of the show.
It's all happening between 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Let's get together and show the world that Guam can still come together for good on Giving Tuesday.
Uproar Race to 21 Challenge. 2020 is 1 year we can't wait to put in the rearview mirror. So lace up, get ready, set, and run to 21 with the Guam Rona Challenge. Join the virtual challenge starting now through December 31st. Go at your own pace and select from 100, 2, or the 300-mile challenge. To register, visit runtochallenge.com. Special thanks to KUAM Communications, Trench Challenge, and Kill Cliff. This is an Uproar event. Proceeds benefit the Special Olympics Guam. Thrive, A Coalition for a Drug-Free Dedido is an active partnership of community members and leaders committed to a vibrant, resilient, and empowered Dedido. It takes a village to raise healthy and drug-free youth. Thrive with us. Find us online or email thrive@westcare.com. GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
The Christmas Pops Virtual Holiday Shopping Fair is coming on Sunday, November 29th. It's the third annual Christmas Pops event with local artisans, crafters, and businesses in a reimagined and safe way for you to shop. As many small businesses struggle to survive, the call to buy local is greater than ever. To learn more and participate in this one-of-a-kind multimedia marketplace event on the stations and digital platforms of KUAM Communications, bringing together the island's biggest array of local vendors, email bettyann@kuam.com or visit kuam.com. Presented to you by Stroll Courier. Get all your packages, documents, and gifts delivered island-wide. Visit strollguam.com/courier and book a delivery today. And Domino's. Visit domino's.gu for faster, easier online ordering.
Hey, good morning, 826. Let's head into the KUAM News Zoom room where she has done the near impossible and united the Republicans and the Democrats together. That's a rare sight. They both agreed that the Guam Election Commission is doing a pretty good job.
Blessed be the peacemaker, for they shall be called the child of God.
And I know, Miss Maria, I'm about to bust into Kumbaya because we made the Republicans and Democrats agree.
Is there anything that Maria cannot do?
We're gonna
fashionable. She knows how to cook.
We're sending you to the Middle East. We're gonna need you to broker a deal.
We need you to go help with the federal election.
Yeah, can you go help with the federal election?
Presidential election.
Let's go. Maria, can you run the CDC?
Good morning, Miss Maria.
Good morning, Chris Malefunction Barnett and Bree Salas Matanani and Jason Salas and Jofis for office.
Wait, can we get the hand signal, Maria? Because there you go. Every time when she comes on, we always give her like the Taylor Swift, the heart,
right,
heart hand gesture.
Miss Maria, so this is it, right? Last day of in-office voting for the congressional runoff election. Can you give us the deets?
Yes,
the details?
today is the last day for early voting. For early voting.
So you guys had your meeting yesterday, test run. How did things go?
It went very smoothly, and we were out of there in less than an hour, so it went very smoothly.
Ooh, does that mean on election night?
We'll see. We're working very hard. We're working with our precinct officials. Our precinct official coordinators just left to go to check out all the polling sites and make sure that the supplies and the equipment are handy and ready to go.
You guys had a test election yesterday, right? How'd that go? Who won?
You know, I don't know who won. We had 268 ballots, so we can test the 2 ovals for every precinct twice, and it went well. So, like I said, we were out of there in less than an hour.
What can we anticipate tomorrow, Miss Maria, as you open up all the polling places for this election? Is it going to be pretty much the same kind of thing we saw in the general?
Yes, and you know, I was very I'm very happy that most of our precinct officials are coming back to work with us. A majority of them, so they've had good experience for the general, and now 2 weeks later they're opening up again. So we hope that goes smoothly. We have our staff ready to go out if they need help. We will open 7:00 a.m. and close at 8:00 p.m.
What about homebound voters and servicing people in quarantine and isolation and GMH?
Okay.
GRMC?
So we've gone to GMH. We have had no calls from GRMC. We've serviced homebound voters who are in isolation but we're going out again today and tomorrow to service those. We have a few pending from the ones that have called. Tonight we're going to the quarantine facility. From my last update, we haven't had a call from the isolation facility. So people in the isolation facility and the quarantine facility, we've left flyers with the coordinators there, and they've called us, and so we are scheduled to go down there today.
How many people have voted so far?
Over 5,000 have voted, and people are already in line this morning when we open up at 9 o'clock.
Isn't it Manupco hour first, right? At 9 to 10?
Yes, you know, I've been hit with that, but downstairs in curbside, there's no way to make 2 lines. So starting at 9 o'clock, it's always first come, first serve. But during the week last week, most of them that came early were Manamku, so they were first in line. Upstairs, we have 2 lines. We have the Manamku line, and we will service them first between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock.
Miss Maria, did you see Dr. Shea's letter?
I just heard it, Chris, right before I came on. And I don't know if for the Guam Election Commission, our hands are tied. It's the Organic Act that tells the Guam Election Commission that we have to have a runoff 14 days after the general election.
So can you clarify that? Because there are a lot of people out there who think that for whatever reason that we're allowed to just not have this runoff election.
I'll repeat it, okay? It's the Organic Act. It's in the Organic Act that requires the Guam Election Commission to host a runoff election 14 days after the general election. So the general election was on November 3rd. Exactly 14 days later is Tuesday, November 17th. And that's why, because of that, and because of another federal requirement and a local requirement as well, we've had to send special ballots to our off-island voters so that they have time to send back their ballots before November 2nd.
So it's required. It's not politics.
No, it's required by federal law to have it then.
During the GEC meeting yesterday, were there any other issues that were discussed or resolved?
During the general election, there were 2 sets of voter challenges, 1 in Pneumatic, or 3 in Pneumatic, and 1 in Assen. So we presented to the legal counsel, and I presented to the board the information that we collected, and the letters we wrote to the people involved. And based on the voter challenges, and the letters we wrote, and what came back to us or what did not come back to us, the commission concluded that those absentee ballots should not be counted.
What were the challenges about? It was about
that they were not from that village. So the three from Pneumatic and 1 from Assen.
So basically, it's like someone says, "Hey, that person's not from Pneumatic. Why are they voting here?" And then you guys check it, and if it's true, then
correct.
Your
Yes.
primary election, their ballot.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And those for those 4 individuals, 3 from Pneumatic and 1 from Assen, because of the challenge, right? The Guam Election Commission looked into it, and based on what the challengers said, that's what the commission had sided with.
And so everything is still set to recount GIGO and the Guam Education Board on Friday, I want to say, is what you said?
Yes, okay. Friday, November 20th, Bree.
Okay.
And the reason it's only then is because November 18th at 5:00 p.m. is the last day for Guam Election Commission to receive general election off-island ballots. So that's Wednesday, November 18th at 5:00 p.m. is the last day for GEC to receive off-island ballots. Hence, the recount and the counting of the absentee ballots will take place on Friday.
And when will you guys certify the results?
We also planned it so that it could be certified after the recount and after the tabulation of the absentee ballots on Friday, November 20th.
So sometime Friday night, we can have see all of the elections be certified.
Yes.
Barring any new complaints.
Correct.
Okay.
Actually, November 18th is the last day for us to receive complaints as well.
Miss Maria, what kind of night are we going to see on election night? Are we going to go till 7 in the morning again, or?
Well, that's funny. You should ask, Chris. The other mandate that Guam Election Commission has is to count all the provisional ballots that can count by November 18th. So after the unofficial results, after we get to the unofficial results of the runoff election, the board will begin to look at the provisional ballots. So up there at the field house, we will then be, right after the unofficial election results are published, we will begin the count of provisional ballots. Provisional ballots must be counted within 10 days of the election, 10 work days. So November 18th is the deadline to count provisional ballots.
And these are from the general election?
Yes. So we received about over 160 provisional ballots from throughout the island. So one of the jobs of the Guam Election Commission is to vet those provisional ballots and to see how many we can count. So we've gone through the process. We've contacted some of the provisional voters that we can, or that should be contacted, and we're getting those ballots ready for the commissioners come early Wednesday morning.
Are any of those?
So that will happen at the field house.
Are any of those from Jigo?
I asked, and yes, there are some from Jigo Bree.
Yeah, because that was a really tight race for
Yes,
mayor.
yeah.
So
Yes.
could make a big difference. How many from Jigo?
I don't know with the provisional ballots. I don't have a good count. We're looking to, with the transfers that began at the DMV, when motor voter registration began at the DMV in March of 2019, when people had signed off to update their voter registration, that made Guam election responsible for transferring them to the correct voting district. So on the DMV application, if they indicated a residence address that's not where their voting district is, we will transfer that voter to the correct voting district. So in our list of provisional voters, we have quite a few where they were in the wrong voting district. So those will count, except for the district races or the mayoral and vice mayoral races.
Miss Maria, that machine I was able to vote on, what was it called again?
The express vote.
Yeah, those are all working good for tomorrow?
Those express votes, we only have them, Chris, for here at our in-office site.
Okay, I see.
We don't have them for the precincts.
You know what, Miss Maria, I don't know if there's been any movement on this, but were there any complaints made to the commission about people campaigning for or against candidates, spending money and all that, and not doing the required paperwork? Because don't you have to be like a political action committee to spend money to campaign for or against a candidate or an issue?
Right before the primary election, the Guam Election Commission had written a couple of letters to organizations that were acting as political action committees that have not registered with us. So those letters went out. I believe at least one of them has filed their organizational report.
How many letters went out, did you say?
Two letters went out.
And one responded?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And are there penalties or anything associated with this?
Yes. There's a penalty of, I think, the maximum is $10,000.
Per violation?
Yeah, for not filing, I believe.
Right. Yeah.
I may be wrong, Bree, but I think it's $10,000, up to $10,000 for not filing.
You said since the primary election you sent out letters?
Yes, right before the primary. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, right before the primary, because as the deadline for the preliminary reports, the preliminary campaign finance reports, we wanted to make sure we gave them an option. I mean, we wanted to make sure that they could comply with the mandate to submit an organizational report and a preliminary campaign finance report for the primary. I'm sorry, for the primary.
Right. Yeah. Miss
Was
Maria.
there a deadline to respond?
No, but because of the schedule, Because of the schedule of the filing deadlines, the Guam Election Commission does not look at those reports until after certification of the, in this case, after the runoff election.
So, Miss Maria, if these letters were sent before the primary, then I'm assuming that it was one of the more high-profile PACs that's been out here campaigning. But I wanted to ask, because I saw on social media there were a lot of attack ads against candidates that didn't look like they were from any political action committee. They looked like just the Wild Wild West, people buying ads to bash on candidates. Can you clarify what's the law on that? Can anybody just spend money to campaign against people who are running for office or for or against issues in an election?
Yeah, so on media campaigns, on print campaigns, on print campaigns, there has to be a place on the ad that says paid for by, and whoever paid for it, whether it be a person or a committee, plus an address. For video and audio ads, there must be mention of who paid for those ads, or if the candidate approved of the ad.
So let's say, for example, I was out here and I really got something against, someone who's running for senator. Can I go buy a bunch of ads and be like, this person is evil, don't vote for them?
So in that situation, Chris, the threshold is if Chris spent $250 or more. Chris, if you're spending money to campaign for or against a candidate or an issue up for election, if you spent $250 or more, or when you spend the $250, you have to file an organizational report within 10 working days.
So who checks on that? Is that you guys' job to check on that, or does the public have to submit a complaint? Because it's happening, we all see it.
Yes. So both the public and the GEC, and so it makes it a tough job for the GEC with regard to social media and internet advertising, because you can advertise for free, or you can go. Individuals can support or go against campaigns for free, or it doesn't cost anything. So with regard to whether they have to report, it's based on the threshold, and that's what the law says, the threshold of $250.
Well, let me know if you guys need help figuring it out, because it's actually pretty easy to figure out how much money people have spent, because it pops up in our feed a lot.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Miss Maria, anything in closing for today? Is you anticipating a lot of people coming out today?
Yes, there's already a long line around the corner for curbside. I believe there's also a line upstairs at on the third floor for people to vote this morning. We're only open until 12 o'clock this noon today for in-office absentee voting. Tomorrow, the polls will open at 7 o'clock and close at 8 o'clock p.m. And let the people of Guam know, please, that if you are registered, if you were registered for the general election, even though you did not vote in the general election, you can come out to vote in the runoff election. All 55,800 people who are now on the voter registry can come out to vote early today from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, or tomorrow between 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock a.m. and 8 o'clock p.m. Bring your mask, wear your mask, bring a black pen, and please practice social distancing.
Thank you, Miss Maria.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Sizuus Maasi.
Agamas, God bless and good luck.
We need it. Thank you.
Of course. Okay, Miss Maria.
Bye,
Miss Maria, there's virtual hot dog and macaroni soup in the Zoom room.
I have hot coffee waiting for me. Thank you.
You need some of that soup though to wash it. It's got everything you need: carbs, protein. Okay.
Will do.
Thank you, Miss. There you go,
Esta.
Miss Maria Pangilinan. Let's keep it in the KUAM News Zoom room, where we're going to be joined now by the public. Do we, or should we take a break?
No, she's coming.
Okay.
We got it.
Where we're going to be joined here by public health spokesperson Janella Carrera on a Monday. Good morning, Janella.
Hey, good morning, Chris and Bree.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. We wanted to bring you on to kind of just go over the weekend activity. We did have some high numbers. Was there also an outreach?
No, they tested
Yes.
a Cortec over
Yeah. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and give you the floor. Janelle, you want to start at the outreach and then maybe go into the numbers that we saw?
Yeah, sure. So on Saturday, we had a COVID-19 community outreach for Cortec International at their Ukadu workforce housing site. We tested 420 individuals, and that turned up 140 positive cases. It was an all-day event. We started at 9 a.m. and we ended around 5 o'clock p.m. So it was actually pretty smooth. Very impressed with our team, and also very grateful to the Cortec team as well. And they were great partners in this effort. We utilized our mobile lab. This is the same mobile lab that we used when we had our community outreach for Gilboza and Zero Down last month. We set up 2 lines. One line was for those who were asymptomatic, and then we had a second line for those who were symptomatic, because we wanted to, of course, separate those who were feeling ill and ensure there was no cross contamination or any spread of the virus to those who were not feeling ill. And just applaud our great team, our nurses, our support staff in this effort. As soon as we yielded the positive results, because we had our mobile lab, we were able to produce results on the spot. Those who were positive, we were able to put them in a van, an isolation van, and isolate them right away. So we had a great day, being able to ensure that we were able to contain that spread as soon as possible.
The 140 positive cases, is that reflected in yesterday's Joint Information Center report?
Yes, that's correct. So the 156 positive cases that we reported in yesterday's JIC, of that 140 were from the Saturday outreach that we conducted at Cortec.
Okay. Are you guys out there again? Were you out there on Sunday?
No, so on Sunday, there was no testing that was conducted, either in the community or at the Northern Public Health clinic. So it was basically a rest day for us. We've been doing tests every day, almost every day, whether it's an outreach like at DOC, for Black construction, for Cortec, or at our Northern Community Health Center.
Janella, are you able to say how many of the 140 positives were H2 workers housed in the barracks, or were any local residents?
Actually, all of them. All of them were H2 workers at the barracks. So we're not yet testing any of the local workers yet. So all of those that tested, the 420 that we did tests on, those were all H2 workers. So we're prioritizing right now the H2 workers, because that's primarily where we're seeing the spread. We want to ensure that, because that's where a lot of the close quarters are at. And then, we'll move toward testing the local workers once we get through testing the H2 workers.
Is there any word on the
And
index case for this cluster?
I'm sorry, could you?
Is there any word on
repeat your question?
the index case for this cluster?
We're still investigating that, but we are seeing that there may be a possible link between Black construction and Cortec. They do some projects together. There may be some subcontracting work as well, and that's not uncommon within the construction industry. For some construction companies to do projects or subcontracting. So there may be a linkage, but that is still under investigation to see where that may have occurred or who the index case may be and whether the index case may have occurred between just those two, or it may have occurred with an index case from a local worker that may have occurred with Black construction, outside of Black construction, and I believe it was a local worker who brought it from Black, and then it may have transferred to Cortec. So I think that's still under investigation to verify that that's really what occurred.
Janella, does the public health order putting a pause on construction activities also apply to construction being conducted on military bases?
So it does, but we did notify Joint Region, and we are working with them so that if there are any construction projects that are affected within the military or within the base, anytime that there may be a construction project that they need to work on, then we coordinate with them. And if it's not a project that is related to Black construction or Cortec, and needs clearance, then we coordinate with them, and we can ensure that it's clear, it doesn't meet any of those Black construction or Cortec projects, and we can give the clearance. And that's actually why we issued the contractor clearance checklist also over the weekend, so that if there are any construction companies that meet the minimum requirements for clearance, we can verify that, because there are smaller construction companies or construction companies that don't have barracks, don't have H2 workers, may have not had any projects or subcontracts with Black construction or with Cortec, and may not have been affected by any of this. And so if they meet those requirements, they can submit that form or those forms to us. We'll verify that, and if they meet those minimum requirements, we can give them that clearance to proceed with their construction projects.
So if you guys,
we don't want to completely halt the construction industry, and so we realize how critical a role they play in the economy here in Guam.
so have you guys granted any construction companies approval to continue working as of today?
I believe we have. I think we've granted a handful of them already. I think there was maybe about 4 or 5 that we've granted clearances to.
Right.
I have to double check on the exact number, but I believe over the weekend we've granted about 4 or 5 clearances already.
And these 4 or 5 don't necessarily have worker barracks. Is that correct?
Right. Worker barracks, or we're not tied to the Black construction or Cortec outbreak.
So we have Black construction, Cortec International. Are there any other construction companies that have had any positive cases?
I'm not sure if there are other construction companies that may have had other positive cases. I think that's where we're still trying to investigate if there are other subcontractors that may have done business with the 2 companies, the 2 larger companies. And if there are, that's part of the reason why we're reaching out to them as well. And part of the reason too why we issued that directive to suspend construction, because we did want to reach out, do a proper investigation just to ensure that if there was any type of related work that was done with other construction companies who may have H2 workers or barracks, we wanted to reach out to them as well, or have them reach out to us if they may have identified any positive cases. Then we can go in as well and conduct testing on their employees.
Are you guys going back to Cortec today to conduct more testing?
I believe so. I'm not sure if today we're going to be conducting testing for Cortec or Black Construction. I know that for Black Construction, we were doing tests almost daily just to ensure that we complete testing on all their, not just their workforce, but including their staff and management as well. But for Cortec, we want to complete that testing as well. So we are working on a schedule so that we can finish up testing for both construction companies. I'm not sure if today we're going to continue with Black Construction, but we are planning to, of course, we are planning to complete testing for both companies.
Do you have an update on the fines and fees? The implementation of the fines and fees?
Yes, we have been meeting for the draft enforcement rules. So last week we did have a couple meetings on that. We completed, of course, reviewing, not reviewing, but we completed compiling all of the testimony that we received, both oral testimony and written testimony. And we've had some meetings to go over what we received, both with our legal counsels and of course with environmental health and the directors, the deputy directors. So it's still being discussed. As far as timeline, not sure yet when that will occur, but we're still in the reviewing process of that.
Janella, is there any discussion or movement on any further deployment of the rapid engagement team this week?
You know, I think we are looking at the possibility of doing something hopefully by this weekend. It hasn't completely materialized, though. I don't want to give the impression that we have something for sure this Saturday, but I can tell you that almost on a daily, maybe every other day, our team has been scouting areas in the Dedido area. Just to ensure that wherever we do go, we can, properly set up that, logistically it's possible. So definitely we are going to have another rapid engagement team project going. Hopefully it's going to happen soon. It is something we definitely want to do. It's actually something we've been wanting to do. It's just, there were some delays because we had an urgent need to do testing for our construction family as well. So there was a little bit of a delay in that, but, rapid engagement team is going to happen for sure. Hopefully soon, maybe possibly this weekend even.
Okay.
I wanted to follow up on something Dr. Ann Pobutsky told us about last week, and that was regarding the 30,000 antigen tests that were received at Public Health, and also about how I think the lab, she said, there were plans to move the lab out of its current location over to the ITC building. Do you have any updates on that? Or if you could tell us more.
So I'm not too familiar with that, but we have been discussing some movement for public health with regards to the lab. And it's not just the lab, even like other divisions too. We don't have a home, not just for the lab, but I mean, all of us, we don't have a permanent home. So I know the lab has been looking for more space because it's tight where they're at, at the Rand Care building. Even for our ISO team, we're also looking for more space. So I think we've identified the possibility of more space at ITC. And there are other areas that we're looking at too, not just for the lab, but for other areas. But as far as the procurement of that, it's still something that's being eyed. And there are multiple teams or multiple agencies that are involved, like Guam Homeland Security. As far as a date when that's going to happen, I'm not too sure. I think that's being discussed by upper management and Guam Homeland Security.
We do have a question from one of our viewers, and they're asking, are H-2B workers also quarantined for 2 weeks upon arrival in Guam?
So most of the H-2B workers who are here, and most of those who are affected by the recent outbreak, have actually been here already for quite some time prior to the pandemic. And the ones who do come here during the pandemic or after or recently, if they are considered essential workers, and especially if they are, if their employer make a request for critical service worker and they're working on military construction projects, they can make that request. And if deemed to be a critical service worker and it's tied to a military construction project, they may be able to be granted that restriction of movement. So they may be able to, I wouldn't say bypass, but they would still go to quarantine, not at the Government of Guam facility, but they would be granted restriction of movement quarantine. So they would have to be quarantined at their rental lodging or wherever their employer places them. So like if it's a construction barrack, and then they would be given that restriction of movement, which is you can only go to work and then right back to wherever your place of lodging is at for the 2-week time frame. And it's actually not happened a lot. We've only had a few, I believe, requests for H2 workers since the pandemic began. So I want to say most, if not all, of those who were affected recently by the recent outbreak have already been here in Guam prior to the pandemic.
Okay, so none of the few that were able to get this restriction of movements / quarantine are part of the cluster at either.
I have to look back. I have to look back at the recent approvals for critical service workers. There may have been one or two who had requested for a critical service worker exemption. And the list is really short. I want to say maybe only, excuse me, maybe 10 or less who had requested for exemption. And you're talking about a workforce of, 500, 1,000 compared to 10 who may have received exemption for critical service worker for H2 workers.
Okay. Did you have anything, Chris? Was there anything else going on with public health? I mean,
yeah, gosh,
we need to ask you about.
Spill.
Hadn't.
Yeah, I do want to say that for public health, for at least for our team, we're working on trying to put out a really aggressive educational campaign. Our numbers are continuing to rise in terms of positive cases. And so we really want to educate the community about what to do whenever there's whenever they get tested, what are the proper steps to take, what is incubation period, who to call, so that the reliance on public health, I mean, of course, public health will always be there to help them, to guide them, but also we want to arm them with information. It's kind of similar to when there's a typhoon or a storm, you have a preparedness toolkit. When there's COVID-19, we want them to also be informed and also understand what the steps to take. That way there's also some self-reliance as well, so that they understand. So public health is working on an educational campaign, and hopefully we can roll out with that pretty soon.
Well, let me know if you need a jingle.
Oh yeah, Chris, you gonna sing for us?
Thank you, Janella.
Real quickly, anything on DOC? Anything on DOC?
I don't have the latest numbers, but hopefully we can get that today. We do have a meeting later, and hopefully I can get those numbers, the most recent numbers. But we have been testing at DOC, so we'll get that update for you.
Okay.
Thank you, Janella. There's virtual hot dog and macaroni soup in the Zoom room if you want to grab some. Prepackaged.
I will.
Okay. Thank you, Janella.
All right.
Appreciate it. It's 9:10. We're KUAM FM in Agotnia, Guam. Let's just keep it in the Zoom room here where we have Hospital Administrator Lillian Posadas standing by with our Monday morning update on what is going on at the Guam Memorial Hospital. Good morning, Lillian. Thanks for joining us. Unmute.
Good morning, and good morning, Cruz. Good morning, Sabrina and Jason and team, and good morning, Guam. Thank you for this opportunity.
Of course.
Hi.
I would just want to get you to that virtual macaroni and hot dog soup, so we'll just take care of business now. What the COVID census, GMH, we did see some, there's 21 ICU, so, I mean, that's very concerning. And Dr. Hoa, and also, and the JIC release, right? So I don't know what the latest numbers are, Lillian. So go ahead. Our COVID census for the Guam Memorial Hospital?
For Guam Memorial Hospital, we have 63 individuals in the house with COVID infection, and of the 63, 15 of them are ICU level of care, and of the 15, 9 of them are on ventilator support. We have 9 individuals convalescing and transitioning to over at the CIF. Hopefully that they go home or go to the ISOFAC. So that's where we stand. There are a couple of COVID patients who are on ICU level of care over at GRMC that were also, in communication and coordinating the transfer over to GMH. We lost a few people over the week since yesterday.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
You said, I'm sorry. What did you just say?
We lost a few people yesterday.
That were included in the JIC or were not included in the JIC?
I think the 2 were included in the JIC because one was in the morning at 10:10, a female individual in the 70s, and then at about 10:25 last night, a male individual in his 50s. I'm not sure that the JIC has already put that out.
I don't think so.
That would be the 95th, correct?
What's that?
Would that be the 95th, the gentleman who passed it after 10 last night?
Correct.
Okay.
That will be the 96th.
96 or 95th?
96.
96.
Yeah.
So when was
the 95th?
It's hard to keep track, right?
Yeah.
I think the one yesterday, was it 94 or 95? Oh gosh, I can't remember.
94 at 10:10 in the morning, 73-year-old woman.
10:10 in the morning. Okay, so the 95th will be the one last night at 10:25 p.m.
How old did you say?
What was that?
How old did you say?
About 50s, in the 50s. It's a male individual in his 50s, and then the one at 10 in the morning yesterday was in the 70s, right. Female individual.
So the man in his 50s, did he have comorbidities?
You know what? It wasn't reported. When he came in, he was already in severe respiratory distress. And so they had to intubate him right away. So we didn't get a whole lot of history on him.
When was he admitted?
Gosh, I can't remember. The 4th? Was it the 4th? It was on the 4th.
On November 4th. From GRMC or?
No, just came in, was brought in by ambulance.
Lillian, a few weeks ago you talked
our
about...
condolences to his family.
Yeah, definitely. Talked about our condolences. We just offered our condolences. You talked about the proning, right? And how we're doing a lot of the proning. With these, the latest batch of deaths, were they all on the ventilator?
I believe they were. Like the second one that I mentioned, the male individual, he was already going into severe respiratory distress. So they had to intubate him and put him on the ventilator. And I can't remember the female individual who was in her 70s, if she was on a ventilator. I have to go back on the report to see if she was on a ventilator. But yes, the proning, the Dr. Ogden is leading the team for an aggressive and a robust proning treatment therapy. And so, but when their lung capacity has already pretty much, collapsed and is fibrotic and stiff, it's really hard. It's a real challenge to try and, get the lung tissues to open up and get that oxygenation in. And so it's best, and that's why Dr. Ogden is really pushing to make sure that it's done ahead of time, and while they're still able to breathe on their own and not be on a ventilator. And that's the purpose of that proning, is so that their lung tissues can stay open and be oxygenated and not get to that phase where they need to be on a ventilator.
Right. I mean, short of giving a medical advice out over the air, is that something that you would suggest for people who are positive to do just as a habit if they have the virus in the early stages?
That's a good idea, and it can be done. They can do it on their own. They don't have to wait to come into the hospital. That will help open up the lungs and drain, whatever secretions that's building up in their lung tissue. Once they can start the proning.
The condition of the patients in the ICU, Lillian, I mean, should we just be preparing for the worst?
Well, the 15 that are in the ICU level of care, 9 of them are already on the ventilator support. And so the remaining 6 are on supplemental oxygen, if not high flow, then BiPAP or CPAP.
Once you go on the ventilator, I mean, just from talking with you over the last 8 months, the prognosis is very bleak, right?
It can get there, but, we can't give up. We just don't give up, and we just keep pushing, to get them all that treatment so that they can get off the ventilator. And some have gotten, off the ventilator.
Lillian, we're coming up on the holidays. We haven't seen this surge, I was just thinking with Dr. Hoa. We had Dr. Hoa on this morning, and we're actually at a point where people are saying, 63 hospitalizations, it's going down. I mean, that's still, I feel like, very alarming, right? So, again, what's your message as we anticipate heading into the holidays? We're trying to get this CAR score down. It's going up. It's not coming down.
Right.
The stores are out of pumpkin filling. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody, but to me that means people are making pumpkin pies, which means they're planning for their Thanksgiving.
Well, and you know what? They can still celebrate Thanksgiving, but again, with limitations. And, really, we need to not let our guards down. Just because the numbers are at 63, we cannot let our guards down. We still have to really emphasize the need to wear the mask and the need to keep the distance. And you can still have Thanksgiving celebration with just your immediate family in the house. And, again, we just have to bite the bullet that this year Thanksgiving is not going to be like Thanksgiving before. But if we get through this and, then maybe next year we can celebrate. But for now, we should not let our guards down and just, continue to wear the mask, to keep the social distance, have small meals with just your very immediate family in the household. And, if anything, maybe you can have it outside in the open, but again, we cannot let our guards down. We just have to keep emphasizing wear the mask and not take it for granted that the numbers are going down. It means we can celebrate. We can celebrate, but again, with distance.
Any update on any new staff or help that's arrived?
Yes, we have. Over the weekend, we received 5 additional RNs have arrived. A couple of them at the ICU level of care experience, and ED, emergency department experience, and also progressive care unit experience, with telemetry experience. So those are the additional, staff that we received, because we also lost several of them. They've had family emergencies, so they've had to go back up, to the mainland.
Yeah.
So this is just replacing the ones that have had to leave on emergency.
There's a new tent up at the hospital, Lillian, by the physicians' parking. Is that a Blue Mat, or what is that?
Not yet.
Oh,
No,
okay.
that hasn't gone up. The tent that was moved from the front of the emergency room, that's the GFD's tent that they used to contaminate. But we haven't yet put up the second Blue Met tent in the physician parking lot.
Is that scheduled to go up this week?
Not quite yet. We're not. I don't think we're at that point that we are going to put it up this week. We're still, playing it by ear, going on a day-to-day basis, because we're using the Blue Med tent right now as fast track. That's right outside of the ER. We're also looking to use that as the for the outpatient monoclonal antibody infusion on an outpatient basis. So that's what we're planning to use that Blue Met tent also.
By any chance, have you guys received any DOC inmates or pretrial detainees?
Or
this morning, I got a message that one was going to be transported to GMH ER.
Inmate or an inmate?
An inmate, yes.
What about any of the construction workers?
We had one individual that was brought in, and so, that individual is in the hospital. We haven't heard any other construction workers that have been brought in.
But, when we talked to you last week, you were making room over there, right? Have those preparations been completed, and are you satisfied that should a greater need arise for hospitalization with either the DOC situation or the construction companies?
That was the plan. Right. That was a plan at that time last week. But again, we're playing it by ear on a day-to-day basis because, the plan was to move those medical surgical patients from the 4th floor. But because the SIF is still not really structured and equipped to receive acute level of care patients, such as the med surg, such as an individual who had an emergency surgery. And so we're still trying to figure out how best, and in our alternate care facility plan that we submitted to FEMA, the plan was to equip that facility for the acute care level of service that we can provide in that facility. Right now, it's not equipped for that because we don't have the laboratory capability, we don't have the radiology capability, respiratory therapy capability there. It's a low level. Remember, it was built as a long-term care facility, so it wasn't equipped to be an acute care service. So in the alternate care plan, facility plan that we submitted, that's the plan, is to elevate it so that we can provide acute care service over there. So we kind of put a hold on moving those medical surgical patients and surgical patients on the 4th floor. we put a hold on that one because we still have to make sure that we have all those other capabilities available over at the SIF.
Are you having to do anything differently at GMH in anticipation of inmates and detainees being brought over to GMH? I mean, you already have
Well, that's
one on the way.
the Blue Med tent. If we need to use it, it's got 8 beds in that Blue Med tent right outside of the ER if we need to. Then we will then put up the second Blue Med tent in the doctor's parking lot if we have.
And so, I mean, I guess what you have to have them separated from everybody else.
So because we do hospitalize inmates in our regular, non-COVID acute care area, but the security guards are there.
I see. Okay.
To make sure that they are, secured and not wandering around. So
Right.
the DOC officers are there to then, 24/7 they man that area.
All right.
Thank you, Lillian.
Lillian.
Please take take a big container of the macaroni and hot dogs too for the staff. Okay, it's a good day for soup.
I can balutan.
Balutan to go. Yes, of course. Thank you.
All right.
Okay,
Take
Lillian.
care.
Algamos.
Okay.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Okay. Lillian Posadas, definitely appreciate her accessibility and coming on the show to provide us those crucial updates on the hospitalizations.
Right, and she just confirmed that there was another COVID-related fatality that occurred just before 10:30 last night. It was a man in his 50s. He was initially admitted to the Guam Memorial Hospital on November 4th. She wasn't specific as to whether or not he had any comorbidities. I think she said that she didn't see any on the report, but she probably has to look again just to verify. So we'll wait for the Joint Information Center report to come out. But there was another COVID-related fatality. It is the 95th COVID-related fatality since March. And she also just confirmed that there is she got a call that there is a DOC inmate that will be making her way over to the Guam Memorial Hospital. There's 63 COVID patients. That's the census over at GMH. 15 are in ICU and 9 are in a ventilator. And then there are 9 over at the COVID isolation facility in Barragata Heights.
Yeah, and then on the Department of Corrections I was able to reach out to the director, Joe Carbolito, who said that they don't have any new information right now on the number of new positives, but they're currently retesting additional inmates on Post 9 today due to some of them displaying symptoms. So he said he will be keeping us posted on that. Maybe we'll get him on the show tomorrow, Bree, for a little catch-up.
We'll definitely have him on the news tonight.
Yeah,
though,
definitely.
For an update.
Okay. 9:27, it's Monday, November 16th. We're back with the Salvation Army next. Right here on The Link, it's The Breeze. 93.9, Good Morning Guam.
The holidays are almost here, and we could all use an extra dose of cheer and joy this year. So, we're breaking the rules and giving you a holiday head start on Breeze 93.9 FM. Throughout the months of October and November, listen to the special holiday head start blocks of all the season's favorites from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. and again from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Let's try to make spirits bright and make this the most wonderful time of the year. Happy holidays from Breeze. Holiday Head Start is brought to you by Mariana's Coating, specializing in roof repair and more. Call 483-3967 for more information.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
the KUM Care Force is calling upon our island community to come together for Giving Tuesday on December 1st for a safe way to help take care of our island family.
On Tuesday, December 1st, stop through our parking lot in Harmon for our donation drive-through.
We're helping the Salvation Army's holiday campaign. You can drop off your non-perishable food items and gifts for kids and teens to our curbside attendants so we can help ensure your safety.
We'll have holiday entertainment while you wait, refreshments, and other goodies for donors.
And the link will be live on location.
So you can be part of the show.
It's all happening between 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Let's get together and show the world that Guam can still come together for good on Giving Tuesday.
Thrive, a coalition for a drug-free Dedido, is an active partnership of community members and leaders committed to a vibrant, resilient, and empowered Dedido. It takes a village to raise healthy and drug-free youth. Thrive with us. Find us online or email thrive@westcare.com.
The Christmas Pops Virtual Holiday Shopping Fair is coming on Sunday, November 29th. It's the third annual Christmas Pops event with local artisans, crafters, and businesses in a reimagined and safe way for you to shop. As many small businesses struggle to survive, the call to buy local is greater than ever. To learn more and participate in this one-of-a-kind multimedia marketplace event on the stations and digital platforms of KUAM Communications, bringing together the island's biggest array of local vendors, email bettyann@kuam.com or visit kuam.com. Presented to you by Stroll Courier. Get all your packages, documents, and gifts delivered island-wide. Visit strollguam.com/courier and book a delivery today. And Domino's. Visit domino's.gu for faster, easier online ordering.
Uproar Race to 21 Challenge. 2020 is 1 year we can't wait to put in the rearview mirror. So lace up, get ready, set, and run to 21 with the Guam Rona Challenge. Join the virtual challenge starting now through December 31st. Go at your own pace and select from 100, 2, or the 300-mile challenge. To register, visit runtochallenge.com. Special thanks to KUAM Communications, Trench Challenge, and Kill Cliff. This is an Uproar event. Proceeds benefit the Special Olympics Guam.
Hafaday and Mabuhay, I'm Ann Pobutsky. I'm the Territorial Epidemiologist for Guam. Wearing a face covering protects you and those around you. We know that COVID-19 can be spread by people who are not showing symptoms, which means they are asymptomatic. Because Guam remains at risk for significant community spread or transmission of the virus, it is a necessary precaution to wear a face covering when you are in public. Everyone must wear a face covering when they leave home, have it visible at all times, and put it on when they see others nearby. Face coverings are required for everyone when shopping at stores, seeking healthcare, and inside the workplace. Covering your face reduces the chance that you will unknowingly infect someone else if you are carrying COVID-19 but have no symptoms. Prevention saves lives. For more information, please call 311 or visit our website at dphss.guam.gov.
These are some of the signs that someone is thinking about suicide. Talking about wanting to die, excessive guilt or shame, and feeling like a burden to others. Feeling empty, hopeless, trapped, or having no reason to live. Feeling extremely sad, anxious, agitated, or full of rage with unbearable emotional or physical pain. Other signs include changing behavior, such as making a plan or researching ways to die, withdrawing from friends or saying goodbye, giving away important items or making a will, taking dangerous risks such as driving extremely fast, displaying extreme mood swings, eating or sleeping more or less, and using drugs or alcohol more often. If you or someone you know is showing these warning signs, get help as soon as possible. Call Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center's crisis hotline at 647-8833 or 4.
right here on KUAM.com, on Facebook Live, and on The Breeze 93.9. Jason Salas here. Chris and Sabrina are standing by. DJ Joser is making sure that we look and sound good. And we are getting ready to celebrate the holiday season in a way truly that has been like no other year before us. And we have our good friends who will be celebrating the holidays with us for the first time on Guam as proper Guamanians. Some of our islands, not necessarily brand new residents, they've been here for several months now, and we greatly appreciate their contributions. The leaders, the Commodores, I should say, even though that's not officially the rank, captains, Eric and Carrie Rudd from the Guam Salvation Army. Hafa well, good morning. Good to see you as always.
Hafa day. Yeah, if I could be in the Commodores, I'd be Lionel Richie. That'd be great.
Hey, nice. You know what you can do, Captain Eric? Take all of that hair from your beard, put it on top of your head, and you can totally be Lionel.
There you go. Exactly right.
Of course, and that's why I'm easy. But if only every day was as easy as Sunday morning, then we wouldn't have to deal with what we're going through in the year 2020. But the tradition of the Salvation Army continues, and the caring and the schedule, of course, is what we've been talking about with you fine folks over the last couple of months. But I don't mean to be a pessimist or glass half empty guy and everything. But is there anything in your normal plan? You've got the kettlebells, you've got you've got ringing, you've got all of these various community service initiatives that you would normally do on a year. Is there anything that has been just dropped from the schedule, or is it all steam ahead as normal?
You know what? It's all moving forward, but not as normal. We've had to adjust things. Rather than our usual fiesta for 1,000 people down at Chamorro Village, this year we didn't want to be a super spreader. So for our Thanksgiving meal, we're going to go Balutan style. We've contracted with the Reef Hotel, and they're going to we're going to buy 550 meals, and it's a robust Thanksgiving meal, and we are going to take it out and to four different mayor's offices.
We're going to Ganya, Chamuning, Chigo, and Agate, and then Guma San Jose and the global dorms. And they're going to actually take it out to the community members themselves. So nobody's actually gathering.
Now,
So
Captain Eric, I just want to have a point of clarification. You said robust Thanksgiving meal. Are you able to kind of like shed light on exactly what the entrees and the trimmings will be at this point?
Yeah. It's a turkey breast with gravy and cranberry sauce, short ribs, fried lumpia. What else we got?
Gyoza, stuffing,
corn on the cob,
wow.
Vegetables,
and pumpkin loaf, and a bottle of water.
Oh, pumpkin pound cake and
Yeah.
a bottle of water. Yeah.
So we're going to make sure that those that we are able to feed are fed really well.
And I think they're going to focus on seniors and other people that would be certainly at more risk than the rest of us.
So the seniors, those with disabilities, and then of course the homeless.
Mm-hmm. And the way that people can actually be able to partake of this meal is that they just show up to the places that the Captain Carey you already identified. There's no way, they don't have to like make an appointment, or there's no website, or there's no app that they have to like make a schedule for.
No, they don't have to. They can call though too, because some of the mayor's offices are actually taking them out to their clients,
Okay.
to their community members. So I would recommend that they call.
Okay, if for whatever reason you're unable to make it down there, either by physical limitation or just like a lack of transportation, let's say, and that happens. That's par for the course.
Absolutely.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Now, as far as what the community can do, because I know we're greatly looking forward to spending Thanksgiving, Christmas holidays with you, and New Year's with you and your family. But so much of what we like to do as Guamanians is be able to contribute and participate in the activities that you map out and everything like that. So as far as that happening and everything like that, you said, Captain Eric, that things are being replanned and modified to be safe and healthy. So like, how can we, as part of your extended family, how can we contribute?
We need monetary donations. I'm going to be honest. Usually the Thanksgiving dinner actually takes place by donations of gifts in kind from the community. And because we didn't want to be a super spreader, and because many of the folks that usually donate have been furloughed this year, we've decided to go another way. And we've spent money that simply isn't in the budget. And so we're taking a step of faith. And we're knowing that, somehow God is going to provide. We've gotten $2,000 in donations, but it's costing us over $7,000. So every penny helps. We're looking for monetary donations specifically for Thanksgiving dinner.
Mm-hmm. And how are people, like, what methods are they able to make a monetary contribution? Can they send a check? Can we do so on, like, is it like with PayPal?
Absolutely, yeah.
You can send a check would be great, just to the Tizen location.
Mm-hmm. And they just make that out to Salvation Army Guam chapter.
Just
correct?
to the Salvation Army, and then actually make a notation down in the bottom in the comments that says Thanksgiving dinner, so that we can make sure that it goes directly towards the Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay.
And then with regard to, I think you mentioned kettles as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Christmas effort and all of that, it's going to look very different this year. With so many places that are shuttered and not open for public right now, you're probably not going to see a whole lot of our bell ringers out there.
It's going to sound a lot different this year.
Say again?
It's going to sound a lot different this year, minus the air being filled with them ding, 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 ding.
Exactly, yeah. Some will say that's good and some will say that's bad. So,
no, that's if you're one of the many volunteers that goes around the island, you have student groups, church groups, corporate partners like us and everything like that. You might get, like, and depending on how many hours you put into it, you may come away with like a tad bit of a headache, but that's the kind of headache you actually enjoy having. It's like if you went to a rock concert, you come home at the end of the night with tinnitus, and it's a memory you always cherish.
It's bad when you start dreaming and you start hearing the bell ringing in your dreams. That's when you know you're in the thick of it. So, but we're going to be in Bank of Hawaii, and we're trying to get in other banks with unmanned kettles that'll be stationed right in front of the cameras, right next to where people are actually withdrawing money. So we're hoping for something to come from that. And then we're also going to be in the malls where you enter and you get your temperature taken and that kind of thing. So you're going to see a lot of unmanned kettles without the bell ringers themselves, but we'll still be out there in the community, just in different locations.
Okay. We will have a virtual kettle that people can donate to online, and I think you guys are going to help us drop the first dollar
next week. Chris is dropping the first virtual dollar.
He is. I know he's greatly looking forward to that. He's actually like doing his extra sit-ups and everything like that, so he can be right out there. And for Chris, that is no small feat. Trust me.
We're also doing Toy and Joy. So our goal is 400 families. We're at about 300 right now. We're going to continue to take more families. That's over 1,200 children at 400 families. And we still need toys. We still need food because we're going to be making 700 food bags for these folks. We're also going to be giving them poultry, so a frozen chicken, so that they have a proper Christmas dinner, as well as the meat to celebrate properly, and then toys for the children. And we are definitely in need of toys. Mm-hmm. Once again, this is a step of faith because we know that more and more people and different people are coming and asking for our help, people that have never asked for help in the past. So we're just taking a step of faith, and we're knowing that the Lord will provide, and we know that the good community of Guam will help out as well. So
it'll still be that same experience where parents get to come through and shop for their children and pick a toy that they would like to have for their children. But instead of over 2 days, we're going to spread it out over 7 this year.
So we will be socially distancing. We'll take temperature at the door. There will be gloves, sanitizing, masks. We're not taking very many volunteers this year just because of COVID, and so we're keeping it mostly to staff. So we're going to do it, but we're going to do it safely.
I did want to ask something real quick about the exact types of toys, because if people have toys that they're either going to purchase and then donate, or maybe they have something that has been maybe like sitting in the box, like in their house. I know when we've done community service initiatives with, like, say, the hospital, we went one year and we wanted to donate a whole bunch of blankets to the pediatric ward. Certain hospitals are like, that's a really wonderful idea, but because of the nature of illness and everything like that, we really don't like fabrics. If people are going to donate things like stuffed animals, because that always brightens like a young child's spirit, because of the situation we're in right now with living under the threat of a virus and everything like that, are you accepting those types of toys as well? Are there any types of toys that won't be accepted again?
That's a really good question. We have a sprayer, and we're going to sanitize the toys, so we will accept stuffed animals, but plastic toys are much safer.
Gotcha.
We're in need of teen toys, so like sports balls, things like that. Is oftentimes every single year. There's teenagers in the house and they want something too, but most of the time people tend to go towards the younger kids' toys and the teens are left out. So we're really pushing for teen toys, whether that's little video games, handheld video games, or soccer balls, footballs, basketballs, that kind of thing.
I'm really loving the fact that you guys are going to properly disinfect. We all need to disinfect. And,
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a wonderful initiative. And hey, if you're wondering, if you're out there in the community watching this right now and you would like to see how I can get something that maybe a boy or girl may like, nothing's wrong with Legos. Legos are completely gender agnostic.
Oh, right.
And they're
Legos are
plastic,
great.
like you said. I mean, you guys can spray those down, wipe them down, then they're good to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, and I really love the fact, Captain Carey, real quick, how you said the children are so much of a big part of the good work that you folks at the Salvation Army are doing, because this will be our first holiday season together with you. I think you're going to be even delightfully surprised is probably like an understatement. I think you'll be blown away at how much young people on the island get involved and want to donate. So if there are kids right now, again, student groups, and they're not just doing it for service learning. They say, I want to help my fellow Guamanians. If there are kids right now who want to do something positive, is there something they can do to contribute, even like going on social media and spreading the word and encouraging their friends? What can the kids do?
Absolutely. Going on our Facebook page and spreading the news about our virtual kettle, getting the word out there that we need toys. We have toy bins at our Teason location that are out underneath a big banner that says "Donate Toys Here." Mm-hmm. It's there Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. And then food as well. We need food, but the toys are a big deal. The food we can purchase, we can buy. The toys, we need some help.
Yeah,
we need some help. So that's what I would say to the kids. Think about the kids that don't have toys and that are going to get but maybe 1 or 2 gifts this year. You can help out with that.
And think of when we're past the holiday season and we go back to in New Year's and kids are sitting around the house and they're bored and they miss their friends. Again, yeah, I mean, I just use that as an example, but a set of Legos for a kid, that's hours and hours of entertainment, of being able to pass time, being able to be creative, and you're really going to make a kid's Christmas if you just do that a little bit. So we really encourage everybody to help out our friends at the Salvation Army.
I still have a big bucket of
Eric still has his Legos from when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. Okay, now Captain Eric, did you go cheap and did you have the ones that were already the set play sets, or like the Avengers one that basically all you could make was Avengers or SpongeBob, or did you have the generic ones and you just make whatever you want?
No, I had the ones that it was kind of like an erector set, and you could build little cars with gears and all of that. But you could always repurpose and build other stuff as well.
Yeah.
Eric actually has a box of Legos, the normal Legos, in his office, because just in case we ever have kids that are, with parents or whatever, you got to give them something to do. So,
so I have a big bucket in there, and
the couple that enjoys Legos together stays together, I always say. Yeah.
There you go. Exactly right. Yeah.
Okay, so is there anything else that you would like the community to know about what you'll be doing, and more importantly, what we can do to help you?
I think we've covered it all. Really, Thanksgiving, we need monetary donations, and Christmas, we need help with food and especially toys.
And if you see one of those red kettles, that would be great.
If you see one of the red kettles, please drop something in or use the virtual kettle by all means. And everything does go to Guam. The kettle money that we raise is what we use for the entire year.
Mm-hmm. And if I could ask you, Captain Eric, if maybe, because we're on Zoom right now, if you could put in your the mailing address that people can send, like you were saying, if people want to mail checks, if you can put that in our chat, then I'll copy that over and I'll put it in our comment stream so people can know.
Perfect. Thank you so much. You guys are just a blessing to us. Thank you.
Yeah, well, again, I mean, we really look forward to being able to work side by side with you, sharing a few laughs, enjoying the holiday spirit, but that is still going to continue, just in a different way. But, this is in no way taking away what the true spirit of the holidays is, and your commitment to help the island, our commitment to helping you. And I know I speak for all Guamanians when, we're so appreciative of every single thing that you guys do.
We appreciate the KUAM team so much. Thank you, guys. You're a blessing.
You.
All right. Thank
you,
very much.
captains.
Oh, and here is Chris, fresh off that set of sit-ups that he did, getting ready to make a delivery number 001.
Yep. I don't even know what I got signed up for, Jay. What was it?
Did you say Cinnabon or sit-ups?
Well, that's actually how we get him to do sit-ups and everything. We just dangle.
A little Cinnabon above my knees. Right.
Whatever works.
Thank you, captains. I apologize for my
guys.
friend
Thank
here. I'll see you. Keep us posted if you need to come back on and get the word out about anything at all. Okay.
Yeah, Cap. If you can just remember to put that address there, I'll put it in the comments so we tell people where to mail the checks.
Okay.
Will do. Thank you so much,
man.
you guys.
All right, there you go, Captains Eric and Carrie Rudd of the Salvation Army. The kettlebell ringing, but really they're looking for toys, which I think is going to present the biggest challenge because a lot of people aren't going out and shopping.
They spoke very frankly. They said we need toys and we need cash. They
Right,
said they've got 2,000 right now as a kitty, but it's going to take them $7,000 to put on this big 550. Then you kind of like stepped out of the room when they were saying that. I asked what is in this festive holiday meal and everything like that, and they're going traditional Thanksgiving just like the Pilgrims would have set up, and in the first Thanksgiving. But then they're also going traditional island. They said there's going to be short ribs. They also said gyoza. They're throwing that in there too.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, this is
International Thanksgiving, right on. Nothing wrong with some gyoza. I've been on a gyoza dumpling trip for the whole pandemic.
Oh, here we go.
Eating all kinds of dumplings. So that's in the comments, guys. The mailing address for Salvation Army, 951. Bree, takeaways from this morning's show. There are quite a few. We did break the 95th COVID-related fatality, according to Lillian Posadas, hospital administrator.
Mm-hmm. Today is the last day to go and do the in-office voting over at the Guam Election Commission. Maria Pangilinan said there is already a line for the curbside voting and the in-office voting. So you can vote up until 12 o'clock today. And if you don't make the cutoff, you can still vote tomorrow. Polls open at 7 a.m. Till 8 p.m.
Right. And then other takeaways, too, this morning. Lillian had said that there was a prisoner who was slated to be hospitalized at GMH, but Director Joe Carbolito says that number is actually 2 who are positive from testing. They're experiencing bad symptoms, transported to the hospital. We also heard from Janela Carrera, public health spokesperson, saying that discussions are underway for a possible deployment of the rapid engagement team. She didn't have anything too firm, but she said that they were maybe looking at this weekend and that they were surveilling different areas of Dedido. But for today, they were going to continue with testing of construction workers, right?
Yeah, she said that was possible.
Yeah.
They're also still working on the enforcement of fines and fees. There's no specific timeline yet for that. We also spoke with the Democrat and Republican Party chairpersons about a couple of different things.
Right.
About the runoff election, as well as the President Trump's intent to nominate Superior Court Judge Maria Senzon to be the next District Court of Guam judge.
We also had Dr. Hoa Wen, who continued to make the plea, sounding like a broken record. Google it, kids, if you don't know what a broken record is. Asking the public again to do the things that they say we're doing, but we know we're not. The distance, not to gather, to wash our hands, to wear the mask, to do all those things that'll get that CAR score down. Remember, we're trying to strive for 5. Well, we're at 41.5 right now, so we definitely have a lot of work to do.
You know what's the thing to me that's the most disturbing, guys, is I'm seeing a lot of stuff on across social media. It's not just like a Facebook thing. It's not like an Instagram trend, but people are saying, gosh, can you imagine what the numbers and the CAR score are going to be a week, 10 days, 2 weeks after Thanksgiving? Because to me, what that says is they realize that people just are not going to do the right thing.
That's what they're saying in the States too, Jay.
Yeah.
You look at the national media, they're talking about they're seeing a surge now stateside, and they're anticipating a bigger surge after Thanksgiving and then again after Christmas.
So the best thing you can do is, do what we do. Just go on social media and tell people, please stay home. If you see it on social media, tell your friends, tell your classmates, tell people you go to church with. Tell your coworkers and everything like that. I know it's going to hurt. It's going to suck.
Yeah.
But-
Sorry, guys. Sorry, I just got to tell you guys now that I know every year I go really big for Christmas with you guys, but this year it's just going to be different because of the pandemic. So don't expect anything from me for Christmas.
All right.
Okay.
But you know, we got to do it, man. I mean, think about it. If you had to suck it up and stay home, and between one of the three major holidays, right? I'm thinking between Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. I'm not even, even leaving out Camelin Day, because that's a big one too. If you had to do that for one, if you can just have Thanksgiving moderately with your own family in your own house, and hopefully prep for Christmas so you can have a better semi-normal Christmas and everything, wouldn't you want Christmas over Thanksgiving? I mean, depending on how traditional your family is and where you grew up. But
You know what, though, Jay? My dear people of Guam, they know that you could celebrate Christmas in here.
yeah,
That's probably the best place to celebrate it. For those of you on the radio, I was pointing to my heart. Okay.
I mean, if you don't have a full-on turkey dinner like this Thanksgiving, you can have boiled hot dogs. You can pretend it's like, going to public school, Sanchez versus JFK, and go get one of those $2, boiled hot dogs and everything like that. If you're doing it with your family and you're doing it for the right reasons, that doesn't change the sentiment. It's still going to be a good Thanksgiving. And if people are...
Get some turkey dogs.
Yeah.
A heartfelt plea from Jason Salas right there, ladies and gentlemen. Jay, good job today.
Good job, guys.
Joe, sir, good job.
Remember now, we've been in this thing for exactly 8 months and 1 day.
That's right.
And almost half of the pandemic has been spent in this second phase.
That's
almost
right. This
half.
is a long one.
32 weeks, and 15 of them have been in this part.
I'm sorry. Are you talking about Picor Fun?
Yeah, she's talking about Picor Fun.
Oh.
Yep. These tough conditions we're living under where you can go get your pet groomed. Pretty serious, guys. Go get a tattoo.
Conditions right now, and the numbers, it's 10 times worse than it was back in April.
Yeah. And we're seeing 10 times times more lax restrictions. It is what it is, guys. It's 9:58. We got to leave you with a commercial break again. Thank you to our sponsors at Dial Rent to Own, the Thrive Coalition, Burger King, Calvo Enterprises, IT&E, Carrier at 647 Cool. Thank you, Carrier, and Calvo Select Care, federal employees and annuitants. It's the 2020 federal benefits open season. Enroll now until December 14th, 2020. Call 477-9808 for more information. Thank you to you guys out there in our audience. KUAM News Facebook page. All of our listeners on The Breeze, KUAM FM, and Agotni Guam, to our team in Master Control. And remember, we have got your six with the KUAM News Prime Time broadcast. Next time we talk to you on this show, it'll be runoff election day. Tomorrow. Okay? No one really excited about that.
It's like, it'll be election day.
Yeah.
Wait for it.
Again. That's right. Third election day. Hey, you guys love politics. That's why you get 3 elections in 1 year. Thank you, 2020.
Second verse, same as the first.
At 9:59.
You guys want to take over-unders on what the voter turnout part's going to be? Because remember, it was around 50. What do you think? 38? 40?
I think people are coming out. I mean, if you think about it, we had 10,000, 11,000 votes, early votes in the general. We've already had 5,000 for the runoff.
That surprised me when Maria said that. I was like, wow, 5,000.
No, if you drive by there, it's crazy.
In a week.
Yeah.
She says the line is long already.
So people are definitely coming out to vote. It's going to be interesting what they have to say when we get through all the results. And we'll be there getting you those results. Don't know who's going to be there. Hopefully not me, but someone will be there. Okay. Again, we're KUAM FM and Agotni Guam. My name is Chris.
I'm Sabrina.
Thank you, guys. This has been The Link on The Breeze 93.9. Esta. Enjoy!